You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
Bro, before the countdown is crazy, bro. We ain't even say the prayer yet, bro. You ain't lying. Hey, yo, man. Hey, yo, man. That's crazy, man. I gotta stop laughing. Hold on. Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prince and princesses, hermanos mi hermanas, amigos mi amigas, dudes and dudettes, kings and queens, and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Please don't forget to smack that like button. We in the building, baby. Let's hit this roll call real quick. We got my brother Ty Morissette in the building. We got my brother Oscar Perez in the building. We got me hermano Kendrick in the building. We got my brethren Define Irony in the building. Don't forget to smack that like button for your boy, man. Hey, we are here, man. We got Controversy in the building. We got Sussery in the building. We got Diddy in the building. Pause.
No Diddy.
Let's get right, man. Let's get right. They out here snitching. Oh, Lord, they out here snitching. It's crazy, man. Appreciate y'all rocking, man. Before we get to the shenanigans, you know, we guys go ahead and start off with our prayer. So please join me and bow your heads. What the heck? What just happened? Yo, we here? Yo. Okay, we good. One thing, my screen just went crazy. All right, let's go ahead and bow our heads. Please join me. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for leading us into a wonderful day, into a wonderful night as well, Lord. Please let's give you all the glory and remind us to use all of our wisdom in order, Lord, let us have enough wisdom to put our faith in you, Lord, and not be lost by our current situation or our current positions or our current troubles, Lord. Let us know to be like David. You know, when David was facing Goliath, he wasn't afraid because he didn't compare himself to Goliath, or else he would have been overwhelmed. He compared Goliath to you, Lord. So what we want to take from that is that we want remember to compare our problems, no matter how big, no matter how gargantuan, no matter how gigantic, no matter how colossal. We want to compare our problems not to ourselves, but to you, because everything fails in comparison to the power of you, Almighty Father. So we ask you for your protection. We ask you for your strength, and give us the courage of David, and give us the wisdom to know not to compare our problems to our own perceptions, our own senses. Compare our problems to you, and that will give us a strength to keep going, because we know that everything fails in comparison to you. We thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Yeah, don't compare your problems. Don't compare your adversities. Don't compare your troubles to what we see or what we feel or what we hear. Compare it to God, man. And nothing's impossible with God. So that's what helps keeps me through. It keeps me going. So sometimes it's easier said than done, but that's what you got to do. You feel me? But yeah, let's get to it. So Jermell Charlo, man. Ty said that Birdie's still a bitch. It's crazy. Amen. Irony. Don't forget to smack that like button. I can't say it enough. But Jermell Charlo, I don't know what's going on, man. We got some trouble in Texas. And I ain't talking about the Cowboys. You feel me? We got some other trouble in Texas, you know, besides the Cowboys. You feel me? We got some trouble in Texas, man. Something is a brewing. And Jermell Charlo has released a very cryptic tweet. And I don't really want to say cryptic, because sometimes I think people overuse the word cryptic. It's not really cryptic. I mean, it's very blatant. I mean, it's very clear. You know what I'm saying? It's clear without using the words. But people don't like to assume. I don't like to assume either, because once you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, more so you than me. You know what I'm saying? But he dropped this, and Anubis in the building. What's good, brethren? He dropped this, and he said, there's no friends in the business. Right? So this was his first message. This is coming from Charlo's IG account. He said, fight date coming, ... No friends in the industry. And then he posted this: a lion chomping on a big fish, aka a shark. And we know who was friends, Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. They were friends, and he's saying there's no friends. And then he shows a lion eating a shark, a big fish. The big fish is Errol Spence. You know, that's the embodiment. That's his animalistic embodiment for him. And then the lion is obviously the Charlos, right? Lions only, the animalistic embodiment for them, which I love. Lions is my favorite animal as well, you know? So this is clear. There's nothing to question about this. This is very clear that the lion eating the fish is the lion's eating the fish. They're having a clash, Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, and he's saying no friends. So they're former friends. Not only are they friends, they are also stablemates. They share the same trainer in Derek James. So I went to thinking, I said, hold on. We know, I wouldn't even say infamously, quite famously, we know that Errol Spence, EJ, and DJ, Derek James, had a pretty open and public separation as far as the way they ended their relationship as trainer and fighter. Now, when I say open, I'm not saying it got messy. It didn't get messy, really, from my perspective. I thought they handled it pretty well, but it was in the public from the part of knowing like what it was about, and it revolved around money. And you hate to see friendships or any type of relationship end due to the likes, due to the cause of money. You know, that's always sucks to see. But that's why they parted ways. You know, so I wonder if this is a case of them choosing sides. Like I said, this is me just speculating now. I don't have any inside sources or fake inside sources that could tell you that, oh yeah, the fight with Tank's not happening and Jake Paul, and then turn around and it's happening. You know, I'm not claiming to have any inside sources, you know. I just have my own research, my eyes, and my own perception, you know, and then the way I'm looking at it is that I wonder if this has something to do with Derek James, or this is what caused it, you know. But either way, I don't want them to fight, because I always associate them with being partners, you know, and homies and stuff like that, and being close. However, with that being said, once again, I'm able to separate things. As a boxing fan, Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo was fire. What to you? Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo? Sorry, not Jermell. Jermell Charlo? That's fire. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, like I said, I'm not one of those that I like all the fights, you know, but I'm one of those that I don't mind if Keyshawn and Shakur don't want to fight because they're friends, or this person, that person don't want to fight because they're friends. That never bothered me, you know, because I like boxing, you know, so there's other fights to be had that will intrigue me that don't involve two friends fighting, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if friends want to fight, I'm for that too. I'm not against it, but I'm not like, I never get mad if two friends don't want to fight. So like I said, so part of me, I don't want to see this fight, because I feel like it's just turmoil and beef that doesn't need to occur. But at the same time, you know, competitively speaking, this is a good fight. And I'm going to tell you why it's also a good fight, because obviously bad blood always stirs for a bigger rivalry, for more intrigue and engagement, especially at the press conference, especially when they have some, I don't want to say to be messy and have dirt on each other, but they are familiar with each other. So they might get a little more personal, which always leads to more entertainment. Sadly say that's the unfortunate truth, right? But also because not only do they're both in Texas, but also the fact that the last time we seen them was in similar times, in similar circumstances. Last time we seen both of them, they both are undergoing like a 2-year hiatus, right? Last time we saw Errol Spence was in 2023, and he got brutalized, beat from pillar to post, compliments of Terrence Budrick Crawford, right? The current pound for pound king, in my personal opinion. 1, 2, or 3, him, Usyk, and Inoue. And then last time we saw Jermell Charlo, he didn't get beat from pillar to post, but his was almost as bad because, let's face it, if you watch that fight, he did look like a coward in there. And he's a warrior, I'm not calling him a coward, but he looked like he was surviving and not trying to win after like the second or third round. I can't remember what it was, but very early he seemed like he threw up the white flag of surrender. So while Errol Spence's fight was more brutalizing and more happened in a more brutal fashion, more of a beatdown, at least at the end of the day, no one could question Errol Spence's heart. With Jermell Charlo, because of the way that he lost to Cinnamon, you could kind of question his heart and his effort. So that's why I put them both on an equal playing field. And I'll be honest, for me personally, I kind of respect Errol Spence's loss more than I respect Jermell Charlo's, because it did look like he kind of threw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I will say this though, from a competitive standpoint and from a longevity standpoint, obviously Jermell Charlo, he didn't lose years off of his life or off of his boxing career by losing in the fashion that he did to Cinnamon. Errol Spence could have lost years off of his boxing career. He probably shouldn't be boxing again. So, but the fact they're both coming off of hiatuses, they're both coming off of 2 losses, and they're both coming off of losses to two guys on pound for pound, top 10 pound for pound, and Bud and Cinnamon. So it's kind of on an even playing field when you look at it like that. I would say that Jermell Charlo should probably be the favorite, because once again, in the fashion in which he lost wasn't as bad as Errol Spence. And the fact that they would probably fight at 154, and Jermell Charlo has been undisputed at 154, I think that the smart money would lean towards Jermell Charlo. But like I said, man, this is a good fight, man. I don't really know much about how the sparring used to go. I'm sure that they sparred quite a few times. I don't really put too much stock into sparring, but I'm sure if this fight actually comes to fruition, we'll hear all about it. Now, on another note, I remember I just dropped a video about Jermell Charlo potentially fighting Abbas Barao, who's the newly crowned WBA interim champion at 154 after just upsetting Jonas Tellis, right? So that's where the move is going. I don't think that this fight, even if it does happen, if it does come into fruition, I don't think it happens next immediately. I still think that the priority would be for Jermell Charlo to try to reclaim a belt, especially since the WBA and President Gilberto Mendoza have already announced and made it crystal clear that as soon as Terrence Bud Crawford fights Cinnamon, as soon as he steps in the ring, he will be stripped, right? So I think that he would be in a position, it would behoove him to go and fight Abbas Barao to potentially be in a position to where if he beats him, he could be elevated to a full champ. And then that even ups the intrigue between Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo even higher, because now it could potentially be for a belt. So if you're asking me right now, do I think that this fight happens? After all that I just said, I would say no. I would say maybe. Do I think it happens next? I would say no. But do I think it happens eventually? I would say maybe. But because I'm going to tell you why I would lean towards no, because the fact that I don't think that they fight immediately, then you know what friends do. What do friends do? I mean, if me and Oscar get into it, probably the next day at the most, I'm probably going to hit him up or he going to hit me up. Hey, man, my bad about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? He going to be like, man, my bad too, bro. We was just tripping. If me and Ty get into it, probably an hour later or the next day, hey, bro, my bad, dog. I was tripping, bro. I was tripping too, bro. It's all good, man. We go, you know what I'm saying? We gonna keep it pushing and get over it. So if this fight doesn't happen immediately between two friends, then I don't think it's gonna transpire. That's why I say I'm doubtful, because I don't think it happens immediately in the imminent future. And if it doesn't happen in the imminent future, it gives more opportunity, more space, more time, and more opportunity for somebody that's a friend. Kendrick might step in and be like, hey, man, y'all shouldn't be fighting, man. Y'all know y'all better than this, man. Maybe Jermell Charlo might step in. I don't know, somebody. I'm just me hypothetically speaking. I don't know. But for PBC, that's a hell of a fight for PBC, bro. PBC might be on and popping, and boom, business is a booming. They got Pacquiao back, PBC. They have freaking Jermell Charlo talking about coming back, PBC. Jermell Charlo possibly coming back. Jermell Charlo just came back. Errol Spence possibly coming back. PBC, hey, Tank fighting Jake Paul. They're getting a cut out of that. They have to be, right? So, hey, PBC business is a booming. I'll tell you that. Let me hit some of this chat, man. Let me hit some of these chats. Let me hit some of these chats, man. Let me catch up. Let me catch up. He said, what it do, bros? What it do, my brother? Shout out to Kendrick, man. Shout out to all the folks in here, man. He said, who's snitching? Bernie? Bernie's still a bitch. It's crazy. Jermell Charlo? Haven't heard that name in a while. I'm telling you, Anubis. That's Big Charlo to y'all. Big Charlo. Shout out to Jermell. Chill out on my Cowboys. My bad, bro. My bad. It's scary hours from Houston to DeSoto. Oh, Lord. Errol got off their first spar, but it was Lions only after that. Oh, Lord. Shakur Keyshaw, take notes. He said they should be fighting, huh? That's true. I'm not mad at anybody who thinks that they should fight, but me, I don't really mind it. He said, Oscar says, is it fire though? Maybe 2 years ago, but now it's more like a wet lighter. I agree with that too. If you're not too intrigued, like I said, they're both coming off of losses, both on the downside of their career, on the downward trajectory, downward slope. So if you're not excited, I get it, but I'm going to be honest, Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters. So as much as I don't want him to fight anymore due to his welfare, I can't lie. I would like to see him back in the ring. Jermell Charlo, I like him. I would be rooting for Errol Spence, but I would lean towards Jermell Charlo to win. But yeah, I would be excited for this fight. But if you're not, because of their lackluster performances, especially both of them coming off losses, I don't knock anybody for that. I definitely think the fight would have been more intriguing a couple years ago. I agree with that, but it's still hot enough for me to be intrigued now. I mean, hell, if I could get up to watch Manny Pacquiao versus Barrios, which I did not like that fight, as far as a guy being 46, but I was still intrigued enough to watch it. I'm definitely still intrigued enough to watch this, but I understand if anybody else doesn't share that same sentiment. Well, both their last showings, neither of them were 100%. That part too, but I don't know if either one of them. I believe that Jermell that's what I was saying in the fashion in which they lost. I believe Jermell Charlo could have a bigger chance of being 100%. I don't think Errol Spence will ever be 100%, in my personal opinion. PBC trying to make a splash 2026 allegedly. I'm telling you, bro. Those gloves. Charlo versus Bass. Sign me up. Yeah, I want to see that too. I really would like to see anybody versus Bass, to be honest. But yeah, Charlo versus Bass would be dope. Spence versus Bass would be dope. I like to see a Bass get his chance, and hopefully he gets a good shot too. I mean, gets a good, gets a good lucrative deal, man. Yeah. PBC need this. The way Tank Here you go. Oh, I agree, man. Ty says they're scrambling, turn into someone cooking. Stay tuned. Oh Lord. Hey, but like I say, I think that this fight for me is good. Is it the hottest? I don't know. And shout out to Oscar, man. We did a long stream yesterday. We did a 7-hour stream. Shout out to, hey, I want to say this, man. Shout out to the stream. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that's pocket watching like Kendrick, bro, y'all went crazy yesterday, bro. I think after it was all said and done, we earned 300 and something in that stream. That was the most money. That was the most revenue we generated in a single stream in the history of this channel. Not only that, but also that stream alone yesterday made more money than I made on the channel the last month. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man. So that's just a blessing, man. I thank God for that, man. So shout out to the ones that held it down and went crazy. Ty was one of them. Everybody that contributed. I'm not gonna go through everybody, but Ty and Clone and DZ dropped 100 on the joint, man. And Ty dropped more than 100, and I think Clone dropped more than 100 too. But DZ dropped 100 at one time. So shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate it, man. That's love, man. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going and keep it growing. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to the members as well. Doc, I'm going to Paul versus Tank only because I go to every Tank fight. Oh, yeah? Anubis, you going? In Atlanta? Hey, bro, I'm going to try to make it out there too, man. If you make it out there, bro, we got to link up, man. It'll be a pleasure to meet, to make your acquaintance. You know what I'm talking about? We got to meet the Box and Talk family. We got Clone in the building. Yeah, they out there pocket watching like Kendrick.
Don't speak on how they pay you, because pocket watching us men shouldn't do, and that's just by nature. But thank you.
Out there pocket watching like Kendrick. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, so with that being said, I've been seeing a lot of people. So we talking about this fight. Who would y'all have, man? I know that some of y'all aren't too excited, but who would you have? Would you have Jermell Charlo? Or would you have Errol Spence? Like I said, I would be rooting for Spence, but I'll lean. If I had to put money on it, I'll put money on Jermell. What we feeling in the chat? Ty said that's not the only smoke PBC finna rebrand. Oh boy. I've been hearing some things about Tim Tszyu, you know, Jesus Ramos. I heard about his fight coming up. Define Irony said Xander versus Bass. I like that, man. Xander hopped in the ring against for a Bass, you know, and if you, which I know you did, you peeped the interview I had with Xander. He was not shy at all. He said, "I want all the other champions. I'm not impressed by Jonas Tellis, and Tellis lost anyway, so he was right on the money with that. He said, I'm not impressed with Fedora, and he said, I'm not impressed with Bakram. And in fact, in the interview that I had with him, he's like, hey, man, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but we share a couple common opponents, and two of those opponents, Bakram went the distance with, and me, Xander, I knocked him out in 5. I stopped him in 5. And he's talking about Ferroa and Valenzuela. What's it? Ferroa or Figueroa? I can't remember his name, but yeah, but he's right. So they're a little long. There was some time ago, but you could argue that Xander might have the upper hand. Now he's a little green, you know, he's a little young, so I don't know about that. I think he should take his time. But if he fights a Bass Barral, he hopped in the ring. I wouldn't be mad at that fight. But they said Charlo's going to get that fight, you know, and Jonas Tellis was affiliated with PBC, so you know, I could see that fight being facilitated between a Bass Barral and Jermell Charlo happening more often, because Xander Zayas was there to be top in the ring, but Xander Zayas was with Top Rank, you know what I'm saying? He was there more so because his countryman, Yankel Rivera, was fighting, you know what I'm saying? It's a fellow American, so Puerto Rican to be exact. So he wasn't really there, I think, for the purpose to set up the fight next, the unification. I think he was more so there as support to his friend, but you know, it just adds intrigue when he hops in the ring because he's a champ and stuff like that. Close said, I got Spence. He still only got 1 loss. Talk to him. He said, I don't know, maybe Charlo because Spence L was way worse. Okay. I'm definitely the resident pocket watch. Hey, man, guy got to show you your investment for going for the fight was worth it. Hey, man, you right about that, Kendrick. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir, man. God is good, man. He said, oh, hell no, I ain't dropped no more than 100. Yo, bro, you gotta stop saying that, bro. Blank girls are I don't even know if I can say that, bro. That's how crazy it is, bro. The world is crazy. You can say all types of disrespectful stuff, but if you just read a comment, that'd be the one that get me canceled. So he said blank girls be expensive. That's crazy. I can say Jewish girls are expensive is what he said. Jewish girls are expensive. That's crazy. Jesus Ramos versus who? Is the last name is Zoo? I say it's a real one. He likes to smoke. He gets to respect it, but it is a very stupid move. No. Not Ramos versus Zoo. I heard Ramos. I can't remember who it was, but I heard Ramos might be fighting somebody at 160. Oscar. Shout out to 2 Cents in the building. One time for the ladies. Y'all check out 2 Cents. That's a dope content creator right there, man. Boss lady in the building. Always good to see you. Y'all check out 2 Cents. 2 Cents. 2 Cents. Drop a link in the chat. PBC gonna kill me. If they make that fight die. My 2 favorite fighters, I'm telling you. Oh, Jermell Charlo is your favorite fighter? That's what's up. I didn't know that. I knew you liked Errol Spence a lot. I didn't know he was your favorite, but I knew you liked him a lot. But yeah, I like Errol Spence. I like Jermell Charlo. I like both Charlos. I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but I like them a lot. I definitely like Spence more. But like I said, I don't really care for that fight because of their relationship. But like I said, I think it's a good fight for sure. I think it's a good fight, especially circumstantially, even if they're both on the downward slope. They're both, you know what I'm saying, they're both coming off of losses, both 2 years. So just out 3K, could just put 3K on Canelo. He better not disappoint. 3K, I don't talk about Anubis. I'm gonna need you to get a membership, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Take what, $3 of that 3K. Get you a membership. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Quick math, what that is, 0.1% of the 3K. You know what I'm talking about? Look at that, Jermell back on BS. He hearing voices like Randy Orton. The bash for them look like Lubin. Errol might get stopped too. Yeah, Errol might get stopped. Man. Should have just dropped that in Doc's pockets because that's gone. Talk to him, Kendrick. None of that fake friend shit like Keyshawn and Shakur. Well, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. 2 Cents. I think this is a falling out. I'm not sure if it's a fake friend. Well, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I think, you know, sometimes things just happen. You know, we got to remember that they're stablemates too, right? And they had both of them were trained by Derek James. Maybe it's something where one of them maybe they're taking sides. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, Errol Spence not rocking with Derek James. Jermell Charlo is. Maybe they had a falling out because of that. I'm speculating here. I don't know. But I don't think it's a case of like I said earlier in the chat, I'm not even sure if this fight happens. I could see them reconciling. You know, there could be some reconciliation there. I definitely don't think it happens next. I think Jermell Charlo and Abbas Barao happen next. And with that being said, the more time, the more opportunity for reconciliation. So I'm not sure the fight happens, and I wouldn't be mad if the fight doesn't happen. Keyshawn and Shakur, I want that fight to happen, but I wouldn't be mad if that fight doesn't happen because of their friendship either. Now, I will say this, though, to be fair with Shakur, though, Shakur does seem like he's friends with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Keyshawn, talking about not fighting him, then because they're friends, Richardson Hitchens being mad at him because they're friends and potentially not fighting them. It's like you got to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that sometimes you could have too many, but at the same time, like I said, I never get mad at friends not fighting each other because boxing is a brutal sport and, you know, you can get hurt. So but it is what it is. I mean, 2 each on. Southwest Dice in the building. What's good, brother? He said, hit that like button, chat. Yes, salutations, brother. Yes, hit that like button. He said, I take that action. Wait, what action? Hold on now. I'm missing some action. Kendrick, what's up? I got a cool 40 on Canelo. Friendly wager. Kendrick say, you taking that? Hey, hit the likes, people. Yes, please hit the likes. Hit the likes. They never said they would have ever fight. If the bread right, they fit the fight. Yeah, and I remember Errol Spence had an interview. I don't recall who it was with on Ty's point. Errol Spence was asked about Jermell Charlo and saying, oh, yeah, I know. The interviewer was saying something like, I know you guys would never fight. And Errol Spence was like, hold on now. I ain't say that. I ain't never going to say never. You know, if the money right, you know what I'm saying? EJ there all night. You know what I'm talking about? If the money right, EJ there every night. You know, something like that. So, yeah, I'm not opposed to friends fighting, but I'm not opposed to friends not fighting either. And I'm really indifferent. He said, you too nice? No, you know what's crazy? I don't think I'm too nice, and if I am, at least I'm consistent. There'd be some people, you know what I'm talking about, that they only nice to certain people, and they way worse on other people. They way harder on other people. So if I'm too nice, at least I'm too nice to everybody. You know what I'm talking about? So shout out to my brother Oscar dropping that graffiti on the chat walls with that bread, that cheese, that butter. I appreciate that. He said, shout out to Shakur. He ain't selling out. If you know you. Speaking of Shakur, man, what's up with Shakur Tio? Y'all think that fight's really gonna happen? You know me, I didn't really drop any videos on it because at this point, I feel like if you believe Tio's about to fight anybody of any real consequence, any real competition, I think you just like being lied to at this point. I don't like being lied to. I don't like wasting my time, and I don't really rock with Tio anyway. He's a good fighter, but he's also a racist butthole, so I don't rock with him, so I don't really pay much attention to it. I don't think he's gonna fight Shakur, but I do like the fact that Keyshawn Davis, apparently, according to reports, has put in a little motion with the WBO to try to petition to get that #1 ranked spot, you know what I'm saying? And if he is #1 ranked at WBO, then it's like, hold on, what you gonna do, Tio? You gonna vacate the belt, or you gonna fight Keyshawn, or you gonna fight Shakur? What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they try to put him in a little corner. So I like that little move, but we'll see if what actually comes about it. You know, if anything comes up out of it, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Said rumors Mayweather came to Bud camp. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, we saw Mayweather and Bud's camp earlier too, but when the fight was announced, we saw Mayweather and Bud chopping it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went back over there. You know, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna lie, Bud gonna have to do a lot to win. Y'all seen the judges they named? No, they named the judges. I didn't see them. But yeah, Bud gonna have to do a lot. I mean, already, you know, it's just like A sides, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Saul Canelo Alvarez, one of my favorite fighters, or Gervonta Tank Davis, another one of my favorite fighters. In order to beat them, you gotta do a lot to win. And I know some people think that's not fair. And I tend to agree, but at the same time too, man, when you do earn stuff, you know, and in boxing, you're not given a position. Well, a lot of people, most people aren't, some people are, but most people aren't given a position, you earn it. So you do have to do a little bit more to beat certain people, and whether that's right or wrong, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like in basketball, it's a different sport, but certain players that earned a little more MVPs, a little more all-star games, a little more competitions, worth a little bit more of a dollar, then they get more calls. You know, that's just how it goes. You know, it's just human nature at a certain point. Whether it's right or wrong, you can argue with your mama, but that is how it goes. And boxing is no different. Just like in football too, you know, it's no different. So it is what it is, man. What did discuss about Keyshawn not actually being in the doghouse with Bob? Yep, facts. Yeah, we talked about it. It was only a matter of time before the petition came out. Yep, we definitely talked about that, Ty. Yep, shout out to my boy Ty. That's a fact. We definitely talked about it. Shout out to Ramon. Said, brothers and sisters, don't bet with your emotions, bet with your intellect. That's a fact. That's a fact. Charlo brothers will form an alliance with Spence, and all three of them will jump Crawford. It's crazy. Shout out to Miss in the building. Said all of them are going to jump Crawford. Is crazy. That was next for a boxing show. What's the next boxing show? Like, there's a fight this weekend, but it's not a big fight. I would say the next big fight is probably, unless I'm tripping, Canelo Crawford. That's probably the next big show. Anubis, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a fight this weekend. I can't remember who it is, but it's a smaller fight. But the next big show is Canelo Crawford. Like, I don't think anybody fights before then. And then of course in November we turn up with Benavidez and Yard and Norman and Haney allegedly. So we'll see. He said, "Relax, hey." Hey, yo, this man Ty. Nah, you wrong for that.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, let me be fair. You're not really wrong because that's your name. That's her name, so, or that's their name, so it's not that you're wrong, but that's funny. I see what you did there. Hey, yo, Brian Norman Jr. is the Steph Curry of boxing. I rock with Brian Norman though. Brian Norman is a very I like him a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I like him a lot. I will say this though, you know, I'm still not convinced that two of those fights on that card are happening. David Benavidez versus Yard, I think that's gonna happen, bar injury. Beterbiev, Dion Nicholson, I think that's gonna happen. Bam Rodriguez versus Puma Martinez, I think that's gonna happen. Abdullah Mesa versus Sam Noakes, I think that's gonna happen. I'm still not convinced that Norman and Haney happen, and I'm the one that I'm the most doubtful for, the one that I think is least likely to happen, is Matias and Dalton Smith. And then it came out today, I talked about it in the last video I dropped, that Dalton Smith has just disclosed that they have not struck a deal yet. So don't be surprised if Dalton Smith and Super Matias do not fight on November 22nd. Dalton Smith has come out and said, let's read it right here. There's a little interview on it, but we can just read it. It says, Matias Dalton not finalized. Dalton Smith has said that his WBC title fight with Super Matias has not been confirmed yet for November 22nd in Riyadh. I believe there's some purse bids coming up. I think the fight is going to happen in November time, but nothing has yet been confirmed. It's still a possibility it'll happen on the Riyadh card, though. Man, shut up. You don't want to fight nobody. Who you fooling? Dalton Smith don't want to fight nobody. I'm just not. I just don't believe it, bro. I believe when I see it. So, yo, Team Slime in the building. What's good, brethren? Hey, I saw your fight on the Boxing Voice, man. Shout out to you, man. That was a good fight. I actually thought you won that, man. But keep on doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to Team Slime. You feel me? I'm watching Canelo versus Bud. I've been over this fight for a minute. I'm ready to talk about Puma versus Bam. I ain't gonna lie, Oscar. You know, me and you talked about this, Oscar. We talked about how Cinnamon and Bud will potentially wear us out. You know what I'm saying? We'll get tired from it and annoyed with it. I'm actually becoming more intrigued as it's going on, despite what I initially thought, you know, too much of my surprise. You know, I thought I was going to be like how you're saying you're feeling right now. I thought I was going to be tired of talking about it. But I think it's because I talked about it so little. You know, I wasn't making videos about it every day, every week, like other people were. I made videos about it when it was something that was necessary to speak about, like the snack accusations for Bud. I made a video about that, or Cinnamon and the Bud little push interaction. I made a video about that, but I didn't really make too many videos about it. So I'm not really tired of it, man. I'm actually getting more excited about it, and and I made a video, of course, about Boots and training with Canelo. But yeah, I haven't really been overwhelmed with it. So I mean, maybe it's because I've been staying away from the nonsense with it. But I'm actually more intrigued, man. And I actually think that the Boots development is very interesting, man. Shout out to Drawn Boots in this. You know, and him going to train with Canelo. I think that's a dope move, despite what people are saying, trying to make it seem like it's some issue about some culture or being some traitors or somebody that betrayed something, or being a sellout or a coon or whatever other a character diminishing, assassinating things that people have been saying about the young man who's just boxing. I think that they're idiots and they're clowns and they're buffoons and they're the ones that are coons. And to be honest with you, it's so funny that people try to put a stranglehold on the culture and they don't know anything about the culture, and they're being more divisive towards the culture. This man's just working. You see what I'm saying? People of all cultures and regions and countries work together in boxing and spar together all the time. So don't make it seem like it's more than what it is. You know, Bud and Boots aren't from the same camp. They're not friends. So there's no loyalty owed there. You feel me? But anyway, I like the fact that Cinnamon is training with Boots, because do I think Boots has a blueprint to beat Bud? No, I don't think Bud Boots could beat Bud. But it lets me know how serious Cinnamon is taking it, and to me, it gives me more confidence that in my pick that Canelo is going to beat Bud. But I'm just excited for this fight. If Bud beats Canelo, I'm not going to be mad. I think there's a great chance that Bud could beat Canelo. I think it's like, at this point, I'm starting to get lost in the sauce, but I'm thinking it's closer to, I don't think it's 50-50, but I think it's about 60-40. You know, when it first got announced, I thought it was like 70-20. I mean, 70-30, 70-30 in favor of Canelo, you know, maybe even like 75-25. But now I'm feeling like it's like about 60-40, you know what I'm saying? 55-45 in favor of Canelo. You feel me? And I know Bud's doing his thing. I know Bud's always going to dot his I's across his T's, but I like to see that Cinnamon, even if, you know, he had a little, they claim he had a little shiner, you know, even if Boots is getting the best of him in practice, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to train hard in the gym, and you're supposed to get your nicks and knacks and bruises and your downs and failures in the gym, so you don't fail on the fight night. So it's just funny how people perceive things and they interpret things. It lets me know that some of these people just don't have no experience with achievement or pushing themselves. It's like, bro, like, you want to make the mistakes during the homework. You don't want to make the mistake on the test. You never studied before? Like, you don't want to make a mistake on the test during test day. You want to make the mistake on the chalkboard while you're practicing in your group study session or resuscitation or when you're practicing on your own doing example problems. That's when you want to make the mistakes. So if he's making mistakes now and he notices them, maybe he has the opportunity to recognize them and correct them by the time the fight night comes. So I don't even know. I don't know, man. Maybe I just think differently. I don't know, you know, but yeah, you want to get crossed over in the gym. You want to get dunked on in the gym so you don't get dunked on in the game, or you don't get crossed over in the game. What are we talking about? I don't understand. So I think it's a good thing. I know Canelo's doing his thing with Lester Martinez. So, you know, it's always going to be good, man. It's always going to be good, man. He said, what do you think about the undercard, Canelo and Bud? Shout out to Ramon. I'm not as disappointed as most. Can it be better? Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I'm a boxing head. So I guess I'm easily intrigued, I guess, if you will. But I would say that from a profile standpoint, from a popularity standpoint, it's lacking. But from a competitiveness, I mean, I'm interested in seeing Serhii Boachuk and Brandon Adams part 2, because I know, and I don't know if you watched the first fight, but I did. In the first fight, Serhii Boachuk was winning the vast majority of the fight until he got caught by Brandon Adams with a left hook. You know, yeah, because other people get hit with left hooks besides Devin Haney, you know, because the way the boxing world talks, like, you would think Devin Haney's the only person on earth that got hit with a left hook, but then you realize that both times that Naoya got dropped by Ramon Cardenas and Louis Neary, it was a left hook. Serhii Boachuk, when he got knocked out, he got knocked out by a left hook, because left hooks, they're punches, you know, everybody gets hit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is that I think that's a good fight. I like to see him try to avenge his loss. You know, it was similar to, I wouldn't say it wasn't one-sided like Lucas Body versus H2O. You know how H2O was kicking his ass essentially every moment of that fight, and then he got knocked out. Body caught a body. It wasn't something like that. It was more back and forth than that, but it was like similar to like Alexander Vosdik and Beterbiev. Like, Alexander Vosdik was winning, you would say, like, convincingly, right? He wasn't smoking Beterbiev, but he was winning until he got stopped, right? That's how I would compare Boachuk to Brandon Adams. So I'm saying that to say that I think that's going to be a very good fight. So I'm interested in that. Who else is on there? I think Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. I have Callum Walsh winning that fight, and I think I like Emiliano Vargas. I think he's good. But I'm not sold on Fernando Vargas Jr. So I'm actually excited to see that fight, because I think that I'm not too high on either one of them, but I think Callum Walsh is better than Fernando Vargas Jr. So that's an interesting fight. That's an interesting fight to me. It's not a big fight, but it's interesting. And then there was another fight too, you know, Lester Martinez and Christian Mbilli's on that card too, right? I think that might be fight of the night, including Canelo versus Crawford. You see what I'm saying? Lester Martinez and Christian Mbilli, that has potential to be fighting that. So I like it, man. You know what I'm saying? I like it. So Lester Martinez and Christian Mbilli, I'm leaning slightly towards Christian Mbilli, but that's a great fight right there too. Shout out to 2-4 in the building, my brother in the building, man. Yes, sir. Shout out to 2-4, man. Big member. Yes, sir. What up, folk? Oh man, I think my chat is messing up, man. Oh, we back. We back. He said, let me see if I'm missing something. He said, for the price of a Netflix subscription, you can't beat it. That part too, Ramon. Talk to him. I forgot about that aspect as well. Yes, I think Puello got robbed. I would like to see Puello Matias. Yeah, I thought Puello edged it out. Yeah, I would agree with you, Anubis. I would say he got robbed. I was gonna say maybe robbed is too much, but yeah, I thought Puello won. I think if I remember my scorecard, I think I had it 8 rounds to 4 for Puello. So the fact that he was a champion and he lost, yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd say that constitutes as a robbery. I'd agree with you. I agree, bro. Lester versus Billy might steal the show. Yeah, that might steal the show, bro. Lester versus Billy, that's a great fight. So like I said, so it doesn't have the star power from a profile standpoint. From a you would expect like on the undercard of a fight of the magnitude of Cinnamon versus Bud, you would think that you'll get some other stars on there, but I think that's just kind of us being a little spoiled. Like Christian and Billy versus Lester Martinez, that's a headliner anywhere. The only reason why it's not its own headline because it's on the undercard of Bud and Canelo. Let's not get that twisted. You know what I'm saying? And then you could argue that Boachuk and Brandon Adams rematch, that could be a headliner. I'm not saying that's a great headliner, but I'm saying that could potentially be a headliner for a smaller card. You feel me? So yeah, I think it's good enough for me, but to each his own. I thought Puello should have won it, but it is what it is. Yeah, exactly like what Kendrick said. It's not a robbery that I feel like, oh man, you know, I'm gonna hold on to it for a while, like Oshiki Foster, Hafsa Kasesa, or like Michaela Mayer and Natasha Jonas. Those were bad robberies. This was a robbery, but it was a horrible, but still a robbery, You know what I'm saying? And Puello should have got the benefit of the doubt because he was the WBC champion. You know what I'm saying? He won some, like, you know, so I agree with Anubis. But I don't think about it much, to be honest. Yeah. So let me see if I'm missing anybody, man. The phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in. I'm gonna do a little 3 minutes though, you know, do a little more strict on the call time. Not because I don't like rapping, but because sometimes we be rapping and sometimes it gets a little out of hand. You know what I'm talking about? Unless we go wait till the end of the show type stuff. But hey, please call in. Close fights are not robbery. Sorry. Yeah, but I don't know how close that was though, Irony. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Matias. Was it really that close? That's why I kind of agree. I think that, so like I said, I scored it 8 rounds to 4. There were some close rounds that could have went either way. But I thought that Puello did enough to edge it out enough, you know. But I do agree with you that close fights aren't always robberies, but some close fights have clear winners too, you know. It's like Richardson Hitchens and Gustavo Lemos. I thought that was a close fight that had a clear winner. I thought Puello and Matias was kind of like that. Like, it was a close fight, but it had a clear winner. And for me, the clear winner was Puello. So I kind of agree, but like I said, I ain't tripping on too much. Beauty in the building. K Beauty, what's good? Salutations. Allegedly, the black eye actually came from Darrell. Oh, Val Saint. Oh, shout out to my boy Ty doing his research. I didn't know that. You see, people just jump out the deep end. They see somebody take a picture. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, let's go back on the boot stuff. And I know we talked about this a lot yesterday. I don't need to go over it anymore. But it's just funny, like Ty just said. A lot of people are assuming because Canelo had a little shiner, had a little, you know, mark on his eye, and because he took a picture with Boots, that it came from Boots. You see what I'm saying? It could have came from an elbow. It could have came from Reynoso. Maybe somebody missed the pad when they were doing pad work. It could have came from Val Saint. It could have came from Yo-Yo Diablo, Yon Lee Hernandez. It could have came from any other sparring partner. But people like to assume stuff so much and they speak so definitively like they know. You see what I'm saying? So whether Boots did it or not, to me, it's inconsequential because it's just sparring. You know what I'm saying? Could Boots have given him a black eye? Yeah. Canelo could have gave him a black eye too. I mean, that's what happens in sparring, you know? So anybody can get caught with a good shot and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't think it's anything to be like nervous about. If you think Buzz would beat Canelo, I don't think that Boots training with Bud should really change that for you. If you really did the appropriate amount of analysis, you know, and made an assessment based on their characteristics and their styles, then if you're confident in your pick, then I don't think, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you examples. Like, I thought about it for a while. You know, I still think it's a great fight. I personally am going with Cinnamon, but I don't think he's for sure like it's a certain win. Like, it's a great fight. You know what I'm saying? They're both phenomenal fighters. But I don't care if Crawford was sparring with, I don't know, give me somebody that's a great fight. David Benavidez. If I found out that Bud was sparring with David Benavidez, that wouldn't change my opinion on who I'm picking. You see what I'm saying? But people are so fickle, you know, they don't have their own independent, genuine thoughts. They just regurgitate what they hear from somebody else that has a big following. So that's why they're so easily swayed and you're so shaky. You don't have any foundation. Like, you're not solid. You see what I'm saying? Like, for me, I don't give a damn who Crawford took a picture with that he's sparring. That's not going to change my mind on my pick because I thought about my pick. My pick is my pick. You see what I'm saying? Because I looked at it and I did that don't mean that I'm going to be right. but I'm confident in enough in my pick to where I believe in the conclusion that I came up with. You see what I'm saying? I don't care who he took a picture with. He could take a picture with Thanos. I still pick Canelo. A Bud could take a picture with Thanos. I don't. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Killmonger, Thanos, and Black Panther. I still got Bud. I mean, I still got Canelo. That's just me though. You know, I be confident in my picks. So, right or wrong, you know, I be confident. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, shout out to let me pull up my brother Irony. He said he's in the Discord, man, for the call, man. He said that wear and tear catching up. Hey, they claim Canelo still ramping up camp low key. He's getting their shit off. Oh, hey, he ramping up camp. Shit, boy, you better make sure you're able to get some rest, because Bud's not playing, man. Bud is not playing. Like I said, bro. Hey, I was wrong before when I picked against Bud. The one time I picked against Bud was against Errol Spence, and I was wrong. I was super wrong. You know, so I could be super wrong again. Bud could potentially stop him, right? It's boxing. It could happen. You think Lester Martinez is giving Bud good work? I think so. I think Lester Martinez is giving him great work. You know, the Guatemalan, Lester, you know, I'm not going to lie, Slime. I think that's part of the reason why Lester Martinez's fight was called off. Remember, he was supposed to fight and Billy earlier, right? I think that's part of the reason why I was called off. They tried to say, now let's be fair, right? Lester Martinez does have a history of migraines. Remember that fight he had with Joe Sean James? That fight was postponed 3 times because he had some illnesses and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that his illness was illegitimate, but what I'm saying is that I don't put it past them to, hey, hold on, bro. Hey, this is a bigger fight, man. You got to come help me. You can prepare for your fight after I'm done. You feel me? So, you know, I think that has something to do with it. So, yeah, I think Lester Martinez and other folks are giving him good work, too. Like, I know a lot of people are trying to talk trash about Bud getting work with Shakur. I think that's good to work on certain things. You know what I'm saying? I think that's good work, too. You know, but, hey, Bomac got a hell of a stable now. You got Steven So Cold Nelson. You know, you could use Steven So Cold Nelson to apply that pressure because he's bigger than Canelo, right? He could lean on you and try to get how that feels to fight in the clinch, fight in close quarters, you know, CQC. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people I know, you know, because you were a boxer and amateur boxer and all that stuff you brought around the game, around the sport. So, you know that you don't need one sparring partner to show you everything. You get certain sparring partners to give you certain looks. That's why you have multiple sparring partners. Like, so I don't know what people think, man. It just shows me that they're really neophyte and they try to masquerade like there's some experts in the game and they don't really know nothing about it. Let me pull up Irony real quick. Yo, shout out to Big Dog Willie, man. Renewing the subscription. Shout out to him, man. He said Jake Paul versus Tank in November. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he committed to another 30 days, man. He said he's not going nowhere.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
Shout out to my guy. I said Jake Paul versus Tank in November. Absolutely. Said he said I'm in Texas. Gets off his meds. Hey, it's man time. Sir says, what up, sir? Shout out to Sir, man. You received a gifted membership from, I believe, you're at Real Randeezy, man. Consider renewing that membership upon expiration, man. It means a lot to go to the channel, so I appreciate it. He said, when Bud beats Canelo, they're going to say crazy stuff. No, they can't say, you know, if Bud beats Canelo, you got to give him all his credit, man. Bud, you might have to argue that Bud's one of the best ever. Forget he's already an all-time great. I don't even know why people still question that. These are 2 all-time greats going at it. It's Cinnamon and Budrick. Whoever wins, if Bud wins, he's potentially the greatest of all time. He's going in GOAT status. You feel me? If Canelo wins, I don't think it elevates him too much as far as status because he's still going to be the bigger man, so it's less for him to gain, but I will still give him some respect because Bud is a beast. You know what I'm saying? That's why we think it's a good fight, because Bud is so good. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie. Said, I told you so tour. You were the wrong place for that told you so tour, because I announced it 4 months ago that Tank was fighting Jake Paul. So I never denied it. I was one of the ones that said it was gonna happen. So you were the wrong place for your tour, sir. But do your thing, you know what I'm saying? I know you're ready. I know you excited. Shout out to my brother Big Dog Willie dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Shout out to Big Dog Willie. He said you should have 4 sparring partners at this level. Talk to him, sir. Everyone put their fingers in the air for our tribal chief, Big Dog Willie. The prophecy has come through. put their index fingers in the air. I want Canelo to be a big favorite. Hey, so you gonna put that money on the remote? I feel that. I feel that, man. Shout out to Big Dog Willie, man. I know he going crazy. He talking about the Tank Maniacs. Exactly, Tufo. Exactly. You know, I rock with Tank, but I can't relate to the Tank of Maniacs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not maniacal about any fighters, you know. But shout out to, you know, it's GTD all day, man. I think Gervonta Tank Davis, I don't think anybody from 140 and below beats him. However, you know, that don't mean that I have to like this fight. I still think this fight is trash. You know, it is what it is.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I think this fight is trash, but at the same time, I mean, it's a smart move. You get compensated handsomely for potentially the easiest fight that you're ever going to be involved in. So just because I would do it, or I think that it's a smart move, doesn't mean that I can't separate that and look at it objectively as a boxing fan. As a boxing fan, I think anybody fighting Jake Paul is trash. I think that it makes more sense if Anthony Joshua would fight Jake Paul because they're closer in weight. You know what I'm saying? The weight disparity is not as huge as Jake Paul versus Tank, so that looks more circus-like. But even Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul is a joke too, because I could think of plethora of people that I'd rather see Anthony Joshua fight over Jake Paul. That's why I tell people all the time, you don't have to separate the two, bro. You could be a responsible human being and as an adult and be mature about it. You could acknowledge that, hey, for Tank, this is a good business move, but you could also say, hey, I'm a boxing fan, and when I watch boxing, when I watch any sport, I want to see the top people play against or fight the top people. You see what I'm saying? It's just like Kevin Durant. I love basketball. When Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, I'm able to take a step back and be like, hey, that move is weak, because now the Warriors are so strong, it's going to make the level of competition that much lower, and you're going to be so dominant. I would much rather prefer Kevin Durant to go to another team to keep the parity of the league somewhat even, so it's more competitive. I could say the move was weak and still say I like Kevin Durant. I don't have to hate Kevin Durant. You feel what I'm saying? I like Gervonta Tank Davis. I can still say that this fight is weak. It's still trash, because anybody that fights Jake Paul, I could tell you 100 people that I'd rather see them fight. Tank versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Tank versus Shakur. Tank versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Tank versus Lamont Roach rematch. Canelo versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Canelo versus David Benavidez. Canelo versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Canelo versus Bivol rematch. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, I'd rather see Anthony Joshua versus Ajit Kabayel. I'd rather see Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker rematch. I'd rather see, there's no scenario where this person, blank, insert person here, versus Jake Paul is the best fight. But do I understand it as a business move? Of course. But why do I have to, why can't I acknowledge both things? I don't know why people are incapable of doing so. Jake Paul got me into boxing, real boxing. I think he's good for the sport. I think he's good for the sport too, Beauty. I'm not gonna lie. But still, at the same time, I don't think that it's a good fight. That it could not be a good fight and it could still be good for the sport. And I'm gonna tell you how. I think that Jake Paul is good for the sport. I'm in concurrence with you. I agree 1,000%. Because when Jake Paul puts on an event, because of his influence, he puts a lot of boxers, particularly women boxers, on the card as well and gets some exposure. You feel me? Mario Barrios he's a WBC champion. He was on the undercard of Jake Paul when he fought Abel Ramos. Katie Taylor and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano on the undercard of Jake Paul. Daniel Dubois, the former IBF heavyweight champion, he's been on the undercard of Jake Paul before. Bruce Shushu Carrington, he's been on the undercard of Jake Paul before. So yes, this is good for the exposure of boxing. Like I tell people all the time, I've been doing boxing for a while. I even boxed myself as an amateur, right? My family know I love boxing. When Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fought, my cousin and my brothers didn't call me. You feel me? When Canelo fought Edgar Berlanga, none of my family members, my dad didn't call me and ask me about the fight. You know when they called me and asked me about the boxing match? They called me when Jake Paul was fighting Mike Tyson. What does that tell you? That tells you that his influence is bringing more eyes to the sport. So of course it's good. However, I could still say that he's good for boxing and still say that Tank versus Jake Paul, a cruiserweight versus a lightweight, 135 versus 200 is trash. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't get why people can't separate the two. I don't understand why it's such a confliction there. You know, and not saying you, Beauty, or anybody else. I'm just speaking out. And we're gonna pull up my brother Irony real quick. Shout out to my guy Irony in the building, man. What's good, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, God man. God bless you as well, man.
You know the
Dios te
anything
bendiga.
about the
Excuse me,
opponent
sorry.
of
Dios
Pupilo
te bendiga.
Payaso, a guy named Jason Bison or something like that from Philippines?
Say that again.
Oscar Collazo.
Yep.
I'm
Shout out to him.
gonna
Yeah, he's fighting. What'd you say? I didn't hear the rest. My bad.
September 20, I think, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed because I was hoping for unification, but
Yeah.
fighting a Filipino guy named Jason Basin something. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I don't know much about him either. I'm with you on that. I would say this. I'm not too disappointed. First of all, I'm excited for that card because also Gabriela Fedora's on there as well, so I'm looking forward to that. She's on that card as well. So but I would say this though, if I'm not mistaken, I think that other guy, what's his name, Melvin Jerusalem, is that him? He was another champion. Oscar Collazo already beat him, you know. So from that standpoint,
stopped him.
Yeah, he stopped him, right. So like from that standpoint, is like Oscar Collazo, and that's the issue with the smaller weights. A lot of times, like it's kind of thin, right? You know, it's not as deep of a talent pool, so you're gonna run into people a lot. So from that standpoint, I'm like, you know, I understand him not fighting. I feel your disappointment, but I understand him not fighting because he's already unified. One of the champions, I believe, Melvin Jerusalem, has a WBC. He already fought him. So, and then the other guy, I can't remember the other guy's name. Who's the IBF?
Pedro Tadura.
Yeah, Pedro Tadura. Yeah. So I mean, and I think he just fought not too long ago. So I get.
Yeah, he fought a Japanese guy.
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
He got carried out.
Right.
We were watching.
Exactly. So I'm not too mad at it. I mean, ideally, of course, I wish it would be a unification so you could potentially get undisputed. But it's like I could kind of see how it didn't work out this time.
That's why you see guys champions down there with like Collazo's 12-0 with 9 KO. Like you see records like that in champions, you know, as opposed to like 20 some and you know, as you see in welterweight and beyond. Okay, so I'll definitely be tuning in for that one. But
yes, sir. What's the date on that? You said? I think you took. What's the date on that?
September 20, if I'm not mistaken.
So the week after Cinnamon and Bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know where they're fighting. Anyway.
They're fighting in Cali. I know that because I was thinking about going if they're fighting in Florida, but I saw they're fighting in Cali. I was like, dang. Yeah, they're fighting in Cali.
Oh, it is in okay.
Yeah, it's in California. Yeah, I do remember that because like I said, I looked it up trying to go. Beauty says, "I see your point. Thank you, Beauty." Yeah, like I mean, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. That's just my perspective. But yeah, yeah, man. So what you think?
Don't you think that smells bad? Don't you think that smells bad? Because if you already beat them, then that to me means that you know all the more credence to you avoiding him, right? I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's going on. But
you think Melvin Jerusalem's avoiding him?
I mean,
probably. Hey,
yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm his handlers, I don't know who he signed with. You know, I'm assuming probably nobody, not a big promotional company. But if I am, heck yeah, I'm gonna keep him away a little bit. I'm gonna probably try to target what's the other guy, Pedro Tadura. I'm gonna try to target him. Assuming that they didn't fight already, you know, but I'm gonna try to target him, and then maybe if I do fight Oscar Collazo, wait for it to be an undisputed joint, you know, try to maximize
for all the
my
marbles.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
I mean, I love your honesty.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going on here, but I can't back that up with anything, and obviously I'm biased as holy hell. But anyway, I want to give a message to Ty and Anubis.
Okay.
Matias won. Get over it. Okay. Next.
No love for Puello. Oh man.
No, I love Puello. I think he beat Russell.
Okay.
And I don't think he beat Sandor Martin, but whatever.
That was another close fight too. Him and Russell. Yeah, that was a close fight.
Bro, the Sandor Martin fight was a chess match if I've ever seen.
That was a close one too. Yeah, Puello's he's been involved in some close fights, but Tias, Russell, Sandor Martin, man. Yeah, he got to win more definitively, man. So if you look at it like that, he was bound to lose one. Eventually, all them close fights.
Yeah, but I got a lot of love for Puello. I got a lot of love for Dominicans in general, bro. I lived in that country for a long time.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not a Puerto Rican, Argentinian, Italian, or Spaniard, I mean, and even if they are, I mean, if I step for Puerto Rican, I'll probably root for the Dominican. It depends, you know.
That's what's up.
That's why Cotto and Sergio fighting was like a death sentence to me. Because I'm like, man, what the hell are we doing here?
I see.
You know. But anyway, What else was I gonna? Oh, you said something. You said that you were completely wrong when you picked Spence over Crawford or something like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. You're about to be completely wrong again.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
You knew I was gonna say something. Come on, you knew I was gonna say something. But nah, that's pretty much it, bro. I don't have like a specific.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. Now I do have a question for you before I pull up Oscar. What do you think about the undercard so far of the proposed undercard for Bud and Cinnamon?
Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Boha. I mean, I like Boachuk. I don't like the fact that he's fighting Brandon Adams. Is it right for the second time? Like,
Yep.
I would have
Brandon
much
Adams.
rather see, I don't know, Jesus Ramos or I don't know, somebody like that. Maybe. Obviously, Virgil too is off the table, right? Because Virgil is who knows what Virgil is doing, bro? He's calling out everybody and
yeah, he's supposed to be fighting Erickson Lubin. I think that's a good fight. I actually think that's a good fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about. You know, I got stuck with the Lubin and background thing for some reason.
Yeah, because that was weird though. That was weird how they just went a whole nother direction. Because remember, Lubin beat Ardreau Holmes for a title eliminator. Then that was just the natural progression of things was for him to fight Bakram, and they were talking about that. So I don't blame you for getting stuck on that because that was weird. Like they were talking about fighting there, and talking about having a purse bid and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden just Lubin versus Ortiz. Like how the hell? So yeah, man.
So I mean, to answer your question, I mean, it's I think it could be better. Lester Martinez and Embiid is going to be a heck of a fight, bro. I love what you said about that because that might just end up stealing the show.
I think so.
It might. Who else is there? Am I missing something?
Callum Walsh versus Fernando.
Oh
Vargas
yeah,
Jr.
Fernando Vargas Jr. I mean, the best Vargas is Emiliano. I don't think there's any doubt about that, right?
I agree.
But I'm not gonna say it's awful because it's not. I'm getting to see Boachuk and I'm getting to see Lester and Billy, bro. That's they both got something to fight for,
right?
And obviously we got the main event. So I mean, I'm not expecting like a November type of undercard, but it's pretty good. I guess it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it serves its purpose.
It's not as bad as the Usyk Dubois undercard.
Exactly.
Where you had,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was terrible. But this one is, I think it's cool. I think it has enough recognizable names to keep me intrigued. So I won't be bored watching these.
Yeah, that the Usyk Dubois undercard didn't have anything even remotely close to a Lester and Mbili.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if they end up thinking of the joint, that's just what it is. But on paper,
right.
it looks like a hell of a fight.
Right, exactly.
To be honest with you.
Exactly. So
I don't know too many guys from boxing. Do you? I mean, it doesn't surprise this one because I know Nicaragua and I know Panama and Mexico. But what I'm saying is that when you go to Central America, you think about Nicaragua and Panama before you think about like a Costa Rica or Guatemala. Do you have any recollection of any Guatemala fighters? I don't.
Guatemala. I feel like not right now off the top of my head. I feel like I just was reading because when I was trying to look at this fight, I could have sworn someone else was mentioned when I was looking at this fight, doing a little comparison as a Guatemalan fighter when they were talking about Lester Martinez, but I don't remember who it was. And I remember I was like, oh, I didn't know he was Guatemalan. But I can't think of the top of my head though. But yeah,
I think you said that, right? I think I'm not sure, but I think you said Lester was from Guatemala, right?
Yeah, he's Guatemalan. Yeah. Lester Martinez from Guatemala.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Yeah, he's Guatemalan. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up.
I love it. I love
this guy. Sorry. Go ahead. What you say?
I just want to say real quick that I love it when somebody comes from a country that isn't really
represented like that. And I like that too. Yeah, that's why I love
sir.
Abbas
Appreciate
Barral
it.
too, being from Togo, man. I thought that was. I mean, I know he's born in Germany, but his parents are from Togo, and he was raised in Togo. You know, so I thought that was
That's
dope.
awesome, bro.
Yeah,
I
I thought
didn't
that was
know
fire.
that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes me love him even more because when you think about Africa, you go instantly to Ghana or
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, where
Mm-hmm.
the usual South Africa,
Yep. Yep.
definitely not
Exactly. So I thought that
Togo,
was
man.
dope.
That's
Yep. Yes, sir,
awesome,
man.
bro.
Yes, sir, man. Pull up this
Appreciate
guy
it, bro.
Oscar, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Irony. Shout out to my
I'll be in
brother.
the back.
Yes, sir. Shout out to let me hit some of these chats real quick. W says, if Jake Paul is this A side against Tank, what's stopping him from being the A side against Canelo? Hey man, come on, man, relax, bro. Tank is a cash cow, but Cinnamon is the face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? The payday a little different, you know what I'm talking about? So no, but I would say Tank is the second biggest revenue generator, right? I mean, well, second or third, right? Between him and AJ. Definitely number one is Cinnamon. Number two, I would say Tank, but it could be AJ as well. Number three, AJ. So whatever whatever order you want to put it in. But Jake Paul has his own promotions. You gotta remember that too. So it's not just about necessarily revenue generation as far as ticket sales and gates, because we got to be real, right? Let's be honest. Jake Paul versus Mike Perry didn't blow anything out the water. Jake Paul does very well depending on who he's standing opposite of the ring from, right? Like Mike Tyson did well because of Mike Tyson. He's an iconic legend, right? So yes, even if he fought Canelo, I have no doubt that they probably fight on Netflix because of MVP and that's his stuff and all that. But that doesn't mean that in boxing that they're necessarily a bigger name. We shouldn't so when we say the A side, I think Jake is different. It's just he's an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? He's just different altogether. So we could say, oh yeah, Tank is the B side and Jake is the A side. Yeah, but like you said, Jake Paul might be the A side for everybody, but that doesn't mean that he's a bigger name in boxing than them or bring in more money than them. It just means that he has his own promotions. It's going to be under his team, his management team, and they have their Netflix deal. So it's different. There's more to it than just who makes the most money. Because I think that would still go to Canelo and Tank as far as getting people's attention. He said, shout out to Sir. He says, nobody can tell me why a 135-pounder can't fight a 447 guy, but can fight because it's not a real fight, man. Come on, stop it. Shout out to my brother. Hey, stop it, sir. First of all, it's an exhibition. Stop it, man. Fighting Jake Paul is not the same as fighting. Well, to be fair, he already beat a 147-pound champion in Mario Barrios. He didn't beat him when he was at 147, but he beat him at 140. So he's a champion at 147. So technically, Tank already beat a current champion at 147. You know what I'm talking about? You heard me? So hey, hold on, slow down, little buddy. You feel me? So Tank already beat somebody at 147. So relax, my brother, relax. But yeah, but fighting Jake Paul is not the same as fighting a regular 200, but he's not fighting Ja Pataya or Zerto Ramirez. We got to chill out. Shout out to Dub in the building, though. My brother Dub in the building, man. Good to see you, bro. Irony yapping. I thought it was a draw. Shout out to Irony. Yo, we got Jeff Boxing in the building. What's good, brethren? He said Jake will be no A side over Canelo or AJ. Nah, he would have been the A side over AJ for sure. Not maybe Canelo, but AJ, yeah, he would have. They would have fought on Netflix just like they're fighting now. He brought Mike Tyson on Netflix. I know it's different. He's not an active boxer, but I personally believe that Canelo and him would have been on Netflix as well. So I think it's different in that case, man. You gotta remember he's a promoter and a boxer and stuff like that too. I don't think it's just the same as the natural confines of two boxers being A side and B side. Let me pull up my brother Oscar. He said, let me see, AJ is 2 if we talk global, right? I think AJ is 2 as well, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not certain because yeah, I'm not certain about that. I'm not sure. I have to look at something because Tank. We got to remember, Kendrick, that Tank has one of the biggest fights. I think he's on the top 10, right? With him and Ryan Garcia is like on the top 10, maybe even top 8 or top 5 or something like that. So AJ doesn't have a fight on top 10 or top 5. So I'm not sure about that. Even if whether we talk about domestically or globally, I'm not sure about that. But if you want to talk about like selling out Wembley, then that's different. Than Wembley's a big old stadium, so we ain't even got a Wembley over here. You know what I'm talking about? Let me pull up Oscar though. Shout out to my brother Oscar in the building, man. What's good? Your hermano Carnal. What's good, brethren? Good to hear from you, man. I feel like I ain't heard from you in a minute, bro.
Tell me about it.
How's everything,
Tell me
man?
about it.
How's wifey and the kids, man?
Good.
That's
Good.
Man. You ain't been shooting no coyotes, have you? You ain't had to shoot no.
Nah.
Okay.
Too hot for that.
Okay.
It's coming up though.
Okay.
What's up, man? What y'all talking about?
Man, we just talking about this guy named Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence and the undercard for Canelo and Crawford. Some people disappointed.
I am.
You disappointed in the undercard?
Well, it's kind of like the Usyk and Dubois. If I give England a bunch of flack for doing the same thing that they're doing, I kind of got to give flack to Canelo and Bud. Like Usyk and Dubois was, undisputed bout, rematch, blood in, blood out, you know what I'm saying, kind of situation, and the undercard didn't match that. This is being promoted as fight of the century.
Fight of the century.
And the card doesn't match that. Though, and Billy and Lester Martinez, I'm not mad at that on that one. Or the Saudi guy, what's his name? Al-Khalil or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him.
Al-Khalil or something like that. Yeah, who's he fighting?
Al-Khalil, yeah. I can't remember, but
I forgot.
I know it's a step up. I do think he is pretty good. I don't know how good is he because, it's kind of like Choo-Choo situation. It's like opposition does count. And he hasn't had the greatest opposition, but also he's super young, and I think he's good. So it's not those two fights, but the rest of the card, personally to me, Boachuk is a good fight, but it's a rematch. It shouldn't be there. It should be like Boachuk against, I don't know, hell, even Tim Tszyu, Berger Ortiz, Madrimov, Boachuk Madrimov, a mix-up. It shouldn't be a rematch. I think this.
I would be mad at Madrimov. I'm with you on that. That'd have been dope.
That would have been dope. But,
yeah, I'm with you on
that. Negotiations were there already, so I don't think it would have been that hard. But the card don't match the main event, and I've been saying it for a while. I'm tired of this card. I don't even want to watch it for who wins because if Canelo wins, this is gonna be the worst card ever. If Bud wins, it'd be a historic night for boxing, but it'd still be a pretty bad card. I've been seeing a lot of posts of like, oh, if Canelo beats Bud, the that erases legacy. No, it don't. It's just the bigger man won.
Right.
And if Bud beats Canelo, it's gonna be like a Durant thing. Bud is gonna turn out to be our Durant. Whereas it's like the small weight went up and beat not the second best, not the third best. It's not a Roy Jones situation. He beat the best in that division. But I'm already over with this fight.
You sound so disappointed, man.
Yeah, this card, in my expectations, is trash. Canelo and Bud, I don't even want to see it. I'm gonna see it because I'm a fanatic. I'm not gonna see it because I want to see it. It don't get my attention. It can be a great fight, and if it is a great fight, hey, good for them. I don't really care for this fight. I just want this fight to be over because there's so many matchups that are happening and they're not being talked about. There's so many matchups that happen and weren't talked about. So
I agree with that.
Bam versus what was his name?
Puma?
No, the guy. Cafu. That should have been.
Fumale the Cafu. Yeah.
That should have been talked about more than what it was, but it wasn't because Canelo and Bud.
I agree with that now.
It happens, and I'm already over this freaking car. I just want this fight to be over.
And you know what's crazy about that too, because I would say that of course the smaller weights that hurts him as well, and plus Fumale Cafu's from South Africa, so he wasn't really known like that. But I do agree with you. I do think that it's a unification fight. WBO, WBC should have been a little bit more talked about. And the thing that I agree with you too, because I'm gonna be honest, I think Crawford and Canelo are gonna be good for the moment, but I think I don't know if it's gonna exceed expectations though. But I'm excited for it still. But I see what you're saying though.
No, especially like if you think about it, if Canelo beats Bud, it's gonna be like Canelo beat. Especially
he's a smaller guy.
I see a lot of Mexicans. you see a lot of Mexican news, and it's always the same thing: Canelo beating a younger guy or the smaller guy. You know, this is Canelo beating the smaller guy. So,
where were you
Canelo
at,
wins,
Oscar? I needed you. Yes, my bad. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Oh, if Canelo wins, it's just gonna turn out to be the same thing as always. This is gonna be one of the worst cards in history.
Yep.
But if Bud wins, it's gonna be so historic that the card won't even matter.
That's true. Now you're right about that. Yeah, but Bud's win is more significant, and his loss is less significant than Canelo's. Canelo definitely has more to lose. You could argue that Bud doesn't really. I don't want to say he doesn't have anything. Like I say, he's an all-time great, phenomenal fighter. He has undefeated, but he doesn't really have much to lose because if he loses, then it's like he's going to be great, daring to be great, going up so many weight classes. But I need you yesterday because myself and Ty and Kendrick were talking, and I was telling them that, man, and you just brought up the Mexican outlets, right? And not giving Canelo credit because not all of them like him, right? Am I wrong when I say that that some are I don't remember. You know what? Never mind, because I don't remember the conversation. I don't want to put words in people's mouths. I don't remember what it was. Something about I said that some of them be hating on hating on Canelo, right? And I don't remember what we were talking about. I don't know if I said that some of them are picking. Some people all over, like I was saying that some Americans are picking Canelo just like some Mexicans are picking Bud. I think that's what I said. Something I don't remember. I don't even remember. Don't even worry about it. I don't remember.
No. Yes and no.
I don't remember. That's what it was.
The hate from Canelo on this fight comes back to the same thing as Charlo, which, if you ask me, Charlo had a better chance on paper than Bud. If you ask me,
I agree.
From
a size standpoint,
yeah, from a size standpoint, the weight didn't affect him as much, But no, the conversation is just the same thing as always.
He's not fighting good competition.
No, and though Bud is an excellent fighter, the weight is too much. It's just another small guy. Though Crawford is like a triple G in a sense, where it's like he was avoided and he is a great fighter and he is an all-time great. Bud is smaller, and that plays a lot,
And it should. To be fair, I think it should matter. But if you're gonna kick it as a fight of the century, then it shouldn't matter as much. You know what I'm saying? So there's an inconsistency there. So I agree with you.
And Bud is at that age where, hey, bro, he can turn all overnight. We've seen it happen time and time again.
38. Yep.
Yeah, like you can have one good performance, one great performance, and against Jermell was it was questionable. Not the same Bud. This could be it. This could be where he breaks. This could be the Errol Spence moment, if you want to call it.
Ooh, how you got it, bro?
I don't care for it. I'm not even gonna score it. I'm not even gonna prediction.
Yo, Oscar is over this fight. I'm about to bring up time, man, and then I'm gonna see what he has to say, and then I'm gonna probably just open it up for the panel to everybody just talk. So appreciate you calling.
Oh, one thing.
Man. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Now I'm gonna go to bed. I started framing not too long ago.
Okay.
So, hey, so I'm Monday to Sunday, honestly, sometimes. But
oh wow.
Anyways, yeah, stay on top of it. But hey, sure. Jonas Tellez.
Hey man,
talk to me about that.
Jonas Tellez, man. Jonas Tellez, I like him, man. I still think he could bounce back, but that fight, that showed me a lot, man. It just showed me that it's one or two things, and I'm not taking any credit away from Abbas Barral. He did his thing, but it showed me that either Jonas Tellez isn't as good as I thought, which we saw some signs that could be a possibility, or, which is also bad, he overlooked Abbas Barral. So.
Yeah,
man, that bro, in the building, bro, when he got knocked down in that 12th round, bro, that was crazy.
Oh, dude,
everybody erupted, bro. Oh!
Yeah, dude, you heard it. I was like, damn.
Yes, bro. I was like, man, and you could see, you could feel it coming too. Like it felt like he was about to get dropped. Like
it was. Maybe first round, 30 seconds. Jonas Tellez was on top of it, but after that, it just felt like Basar was coming on. And picking up steam,
Mm-hmm.
and he was taking shots better than what Tellus was.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tellus would land 2, but this guy would land 1 and be like,
And that one was
I don't know. It seemed like
thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn. Now let me ask you this: Is this a problem of moving a prospect too fast? Because he was a prospect, and then out of nowhere, he was an interim champion.
Yep. What do you have? Like 10 fights, 11 fights, something like that.
10 fights, and his 11th was a lot.
Yep. So
damn.
Do I think? I don't know, because I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't feel like a Bass Barral, his style and who he is. Like, yes, he's a good fighter too. I think he's 16-1 or 17-1 now. He only had 1 loss, and that was to Jack Koke, right? And Jack Koke lost to Bakram Murtazaliev, right? And that's how Bakram got the title. But like, I don't think, with all that being said, I think Bass Barral's a good fighter. I think people overlooked him, but I don't think that Tellus, if he's who we think he is or who I thought he is, this should not have been a guy he lost to, in my personal opinion. So
not even close.
Yeah, so
it shouldn't even have been close.
Right. So if he's as good as I'm not taking anything away from Bass Barral, but if Tellus is what they were making it seem like, and what I thought, then I thought this was gonna be a great fight, because I knew this was gonna be his biggest challenge, but I did think he was gonna overcome. So I don't know. I don't think that. I think this might be more of a case of, I don't want to say exposed, because Barral's a good fighter. I want to say exposed, but I do think maybe he was hype. Is
jumping the gun.
Yeah, maybe it's just a little bit too, maybe he was a little bit hyped. Like, I don't want to say like he's I'm not saying he's a fraud, but like maybe you just a little bit. We put a little bit too much. He's not Xander Zayas. Yeah, like he's not a Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Xander Zayas, like Xander Zayas, you can see his ceiling. Like, he has a lot of potential. I don't know if Jonas Tellus ever had that much potential, and I think sometimes we were saying that he might have.
Careful on size though. Careful on size, because like you told him, take it slow.
Take it slow.
Hey, this already happened to 2 guys that were same generations. The board talked about the same way as Zayas.
Yep.
And they happened to them. Tellus and Conwell.
Yep. Charles Conwell. Yep. That's a fact.
This guy is a full belt holder.
Mm-hmm.
The next one could be him.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring bad luck to him, but the next one can be him. Now, let me ask you this. Is this something that could happen to Moses Atama? Because he has a very similar career.
Absolutely.
On Tellus.
Absolutely, I think it can. That's why, with the Dillian White stuff, shout out to Dillian White, and that's a good win. He did what he was supposed to do, got him out of there. He did better than he was supposed to do, but it's still, I can't even tell you a time where I see Moses Atama take a punch yet. So I don't even know how people are convinced. Like, how can you be convinced? I'm not saying that he's not bad. He looks good offensively. He has good feet. He has good hand speed, good combinations. He has all this stuff offensively, but I have no clue what he's capable of defensively, or how well he takes a punch. I don't know if he has a glass chin. I don't know if he can take a punch well. I don't know if it's the first time he gets hit, he's going to stagger. Yeah, rumor in the gym has it that chin a little weak. That's that, but that's sparring, so I don't know, man. But yeah, I think that he's susceptible to that. Like, Moses Atama, I don't know, how would he do against I don't know,
Richard Torres,
Guido Vianello, F.A. Jogba, I don't know, Arslanbek Makhmadov, Dave Allen. We saw Dave Allen, what he did to Johnny Fisher. How would he do against a Dave Allen, a guy that's not gonna just get overwhelmed by one punch and go to sleep? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't.
Or
know.
Johnny Fisher himself too.
Nah, he smokes Johnny Fisher. I ain't going that far.
No, I'm saying like.
No, I got you. No, I know what you said.
Like, gas tank wise, we haven't even seen this guy in the 4th round.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I want to say about Tellus.
Nah, I appreciate that, man.
I just think this man, because I was hyping this guy. I think his move was a little too fast.
Yeah, I was hyping on him too. I still think he can bounce back, Jonas Tellus, but I'm just not. I don't know to what level. Like, I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But I have doubts for world level now. Big doubts.
What about Conwell?
I have doubts with him too. But I would say his is a little different because it was a split decision, and he never really looked. He ain't get dropped. He ain't look like
he did look.
Perez, but he looked mediocre, but he didn't look like he was ever in trouble. So.
And the guy did had a title shot. It's not like he lost to anybody. The guy did had a title shot the next fight. So
yeah, Jorge Garcia.
I was just playing on Conwell.
Yeah, but still, I still think that he had, and then I started hearing things about what Boots Boots is a good, Boots is a good fighter, but I heard things about him getting styled on, by Boots and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. But
I think Boots is gonna be I think Boots beats anybody at 154. Now,
think
ain't
so?
gonna be easy.
Mm.
I think so. I think he even beats Bud.
Dropping bombs on the chat. Oscar was ready tonight, boy.
Oh yeah, I think Boots beats anybody at 154. I put money on that one too.
Anybody? Bakram?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, he said, but what? Charlo come back?
Man, stop it. Charlo's like Randy Orton.
Oh Lord,
that fool got more voice on his head than Randy Orton.
Oh
Stop.
Lord, Virgil and Fundora, Jesus
Virgil
Ramos,
like Sanders Hayes. He said he was a 27-year-old prospect. No, Virgil been ducking since he had the adequate age to be a prospect.
Hey, I'll tell you. I'll say this though. I'd agree with you that I wouldn't bet against Boots against anybody at 154. But I wouldn't be confident.
No.
I wouldn't bet against them, but I'm not sure I would bet. Like I think stylistically, he beats Murtazaliev.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting. Bakram put that Tim Zoo on his ass. I got to see how he handles it. I got to see how he looks first. But yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at that assessment, but I got to see. Shout out to Boost though.
Hey man,
shout out to you, man.
Take over.
Man, I appreciate you, Oscar, man, and wish you the best with that framing and stuff, bro. Get some good rest, man.
All good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Jeff Boxes says, tell us show dog he just faced a good unknown fighter. Nah, you giving him. I see you giving him a little bit too much excuses, bro. You said that Tellus lost to a good fighter, Abbas Barra. I think he's a good fighter, yes. And Jack Koke is good. Like I said, Jack Koke is the reason why Bakram is a title holder, right? But no, Tellus, if he's who we thought he was, he should be able. I'm not saying he should smoke Barra. Barra's a good fighter, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's a good fighter, But if Boots lost to Barra, you would say Boots is trash. Let's be very clear. If Boots lost to, like, let's say Weez Malima, right? Weez Malima's an unknown fighter with one loss. He lost to Aaron McKenna. He didn't get stopped by Aaron McKenna. He just lost by decision. If Boots loses to Weez Malima on his debut against the IBO champion, you're going to say he's bad. And maybe not you specifically, individually, but speaking in generalities here, people are going to say he's bad. So we got to give everything the same energy. You see what I'm saying? We're very consistent around here. Tellus, if he's who we thought he was, I thought that Tellus could have potentially did something at 154 as a champion once he was elevated when Bud fights Canelo, right? Anybody else, and this is no disrespect to the Togolese interim champion by way of Germany, Abbas Barra, no disrespect to him, but if Bakram lose, you would pick Bakram against him. There's nobody that you're picking him, or you're not picking him over Bakram. You're probably not picking him over Fundora. You're not picking him over Virgil Ortiz. You're probably not picking him over Erickson Lubin. You're not picking him over Jerome Boots. So if you're not picking this guy to be any of the top guys, then you can't tell me that it's okay that Tellus lost to him. No, Tellus got to go and bounce back now like everybody else has to. I like Jonas Tellus just like everybody else, but we got to keep it fair. We got to be fair now. If Abbas Barra beats Boots, you would say Boots is trash. If Abbas Barra beat Erickson Lubin or Jermell Charlo or Virgil Ortiz, you would say that they weren't supposed to lose that fight. So we got to be fair. Tellus is young, and he, like you say, he didn't have that many fights, but he was not supposed to lose that fight. And I think, but like I said, I was at the fight, and I'm not. And hindsight is 20/20, but I felt like Tellus was kind of, I don't want to say full of himself, but he was just very like nonchalant the whole time. Like I said, he was out there, gosh dang, two-stepping and stuff like that at the press conference, and hey, with the homies and all that. And if you watch Abbas Barra, he was in and out. Press conference done, he gone. You see, I didn't get an interview with. I didn't get an interview with Tellus either, but that's because of the language barrier. Tellus was, I was by Tellus a lot. I was by Yankee Rivera a lot. You know who I didn't see? I didn't see Angelina Cordova. I think I might have saw him once outside the press conference. I didn't see Abbas Barra at all. He was in, out, where he was supposed to be, and then he was gone. That man was locked in, bro. Tellus was, well, you would have thought Tellus was on vacation with me. I mean, I wasn't on vacation either, but you get what I'm saying? No, I had no expectation for Tellus. I wasn't high on him to begin with. I was, though. I saw a fighter that was locked in and hungry versus a fighter that wasn't ready to respond in the fight. I agree with that. That's a great assessment, Kendrick. I agree with that 1,000%. I think Fedora is a dark horse at 154. Shout out to Average, someone in the building, my guy. Shout out to Queen Shawala Ya in the building. I don't know if I announced you already, but I'm going to do it again. One time for the ladies. Yeah, man. Y'all go check out Shawala Ya. I appreciate it. You're not sold over Bakram? I'm not completely sold, but okay. So Jeff, check me out, Jeff. I have a question for you. So if you're not sold on Bakram and Bakram beat Jack Koke by stoppage, late stoppage, but stoppage, and Jack Koke beat Barao and Barao beat Tellis, you see what I'm saying, Jeff? So if you're not sold on Bakram, that's cool. I get it. If you're not sold on him, whatever, that's cool. I'm not saying you have to be. But if you're not sold on Bakram, and Bakram beat Jack Koke, the guy that beat Barao, the guy that beat Tellis, you can't tell me that that's okay. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to put too much pressure on him, but we got to understand too, unfortunately, whether you have 10 fights or not, he's in the interim championship WBA position. So maybe they pushed him too fast, and that's what the question from Oscar was. You feel me? So it don't matter if you're 22 when you're a WBO champion. If you're 22 and you're a champion, you're a champion. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta do champion. You gotta have championship expectations. So Israel Madrimov was 10-0. That ain't, well, he was 10-0-1, right? Yeah, 10 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw when he fought Bud. Hey, that's still a good win on Bud's record. I don't care how many, he was a champion. You see what I'm saying? So tell us, hey, you know, I stand on that. Like, Abbas Barao was good. I agree with you. Abbas Barao was good. But that was an upset. That I feel like that. Nah, I wouldn't. Okay, I was gonna say it might be upset of the year. I wouldn't say upset of the year because I still think Resendez beating Plant was the upset of the year so far. But that's still an upset. You see what I'm saying? So, who we got next? We got Ty. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm telling you, Bakram is not a boogeyman. Get him on the back foot and watch. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not saying you have to be sold on him because I'm not fully sold yet. But gosh dang it, it was convincing. What he did to Timzu, my brother Bodega Ty in the building. What's good, brethren?
Yo, I was giving a masterclass in the back on how an actual negotiation takes place.
Oh, my fault, bro. You want me to put you back down? You want me to pull somebody up?
Yeah, you can pull somebody else up. I'm out here having a debate with 2-4, my honorable good brother.
Shit, I might pull up 2-4 then, because I think I got everybody else in there.
Yeah.
I bet I'm gonna pull up 2-4. Y'all go ahead and cook, man. 2-4 in the building. What up, folk?
Yo, y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and
Yo.
clear.
Yo. Hold on, let me come. But yeah, I was just telling him in the back, like what you just said, right? After Jolene got that contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
She
It
didn't
was
just,
not a contract. She received the term.
yeah. When she got the term sheet, she didn't just email it or text it to them. Like you said, she called Senior and asked them. So now, what if when she called them, they was like, "No, we ain't trying to fight Haney right now."
She
You
didn't
think she
call
was gonna send that
Senior.
term
She
sheet?
sat with the fighter and the rest of the members of that agency. Senior had no part of the actual negotiation. That's the funny part.
You know what I'm saying? You said, like, she said with all of them people, and then they got the term sheet and shit, right? You said they called Senior. That's what you just said in the back.
Nah, I said she called in Junior to come into the office. He went over there, he sat down with Adrian, Jolene, and the rest of their board.
Adrian Clark.
They asked him what. Yeah, Adrian Clark.
Oh, y'all talking about Norman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They went over what they sent, the terms, redlined the shit they didn't like, asked him what can he live with in these terms, and what do you want out of it? Had legal look over it, and they sent that shit back.
Smack that like button for your boy, please.
So I'm assuming everybody just out here lying then about how the contracts and shit go.
Man, they be lying.
Yeah,
bro.
when people get on the internet and be like, "Yo, I called blah blah blah," and we just agreed on it. Yeah, that like summarizing it. Yeah, that's what kind of happened, but there's a whole lot of steps in between that. Just because you got on the phone with Buddy does not tell that we negotiated. It's not a real negotiation unless terms is issued.
No, I'm not saying a phone call meaning negotiations is being made. What I'm
Even if it was
saying
a
is,
face to face, unless it's in writing, it's not a true negotiation.
I'll be
Like
right.
that's the
I'll be right back,
discrepancy
fellas.
that
I'll be right back.
Micah Park.
Shah just said, "Is it Errol with AC? Adrian, is he with Adrian Clark now?" I'm gonna join back with them. For a second, I want to talk to the chat real quick. He said, "Go look at background versus Jack Coke." I watched it. How you think I know what happened? Come on, bro. You think I didn't watch it? He said your ranking or position got to meet the critics level. Yeah, I agree. Mr. Grandy, shout out to Mr. Grandy. He says, I think it was confirmed that the reason Murtazaliev didn't look as good against Koke, come on now, talk to him, was because he was fasting for Ramadan and couldn't train properly. This is something I've said before too, Mr. Grandy. Shout out to you, brother. I've said this before. I said, yes, he didn't look the greatest against Koke, but it was also during Ramadan. I made a video about it. That's no excuse. Once you in that ring, you in that ring. But sometimes there are factors that contribute to your performance. We can't ignore that too, right? So I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to convince anybody that Bakram's a boogeyman. I don't believe, like, people are saying, oh yeah, people are scared of Bakram. I don't think that people are scared of too many. I don't think too many fighters are scared of each other anyway. But I think some are, of course. But I don't think I think that's completely overused. I agree that it's kind of. I think it's premature to bestow the boogeyman title on Bakram. But Bakram is, I think he's serious. You know what I'm saying? I think he's serious, and I think that but I do agree with Shawa and Jeff. Like, well, I don't know if Jeff said this, but Shawa mentioned it about him being on his back foot. I would like to see him in there against a mover. That's why I thought him and Eric Saluba was going to be a good fight. I don't think him and Josh Kelly's going to be that good because Josh Kelly's good, but I don't know if he has the pop to stick with Bakram. He's slick though. Josh Kelly's slick, but you know, I still can't get over. Who did he lose to again? Was it David Avanesian? Who did he lose to? I can't really get over that. So yeah. So no, I think that I still want to see. I think Bakram still has to prove some stuff to me, but what I've seen so far, I haven't seen all. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 of his fights, but I think that yeah, I wouldn't call him a boogeyman, but I definitely think that he's a top guy at 154. He said, I think Tim underestimated him based on Koke's performance. I hope so. Hey, tell me something. I hope Tim did something because he needed to underestimate him and sleep on him and not take him seriously to explain that performance. He had to done everything wrong for that performance because that was crazy. Yeah, I feel like I could have lasted as long as Tim Tszyu. But yeah, I do agree with you. Remember, if you watch the press conference, not the press conference, but the build up to the fight, it was actually in Orlando, the Creed Royale. Yeah, Tim Tszyu wasn't taking him serious. Tim Tszyu was in there having a reunion with his father. Remember, his father was there, his brother was there. They were like having a party, and that's what I'm telling you when I talk about Jonas Tellis, me being there. It kind of felt like he was just like enjoying the moment, like it was going to be a walk in the park. I think Tim Tszyu, I even remember Tim Tszyu saying, "Yeah, I just saw Bakram." This is during the interview now. He was like, yeah, I saw Bakram running. Like, he's still trying to lose weight. He said, man, there's levels. You know, he's a good fighter, but I'm on a whole different level. That's what Tim Tszyu was saying. And Bakram went in there and put it on him, man. So sometimes, you know, your arrogance gets the best of you. And I think that's what happened with Tim Tszyu. He got humbled. Shout out to my guy Thomas in the building. He said a boogeyman don't have dietary restriction. That's crazy. He called it. No, I agree. Like I said, I'm not challenging the fact that you're not convinced that he's a boogeyman. I'm with you on that. Like I said, I didn't even believe Subaru Matias was a boogeyman. I actually picked Liam Parle to go in there and beat Subaru Matias, and that's what happened. You know, in his backyard of Puerto Rico or from Australia. So I don't really bestow the boogeyman moniker on people. Other people do. Like I said, I'm not saying that Bakram deserves a boogeyman title, but he definitely deserves respect. I think he's good. You know, there's not too many people I'm picking over Bakram. If Bakram's fighting Virgil, I got Bakram. If Bakram's fighting Lubin, I'm going with Bakram. If Bakram's fighting, the only people I pick over Bakram, I have to see how Boots performs at 154. I have to see how he looks, but I would trying to think who's there. Bakram and Fedora, I'm picking Bakram. We can't include Bud. I think Bud in background would be a good fight. I'll go with Bud on that one. Like I said, I don't want to make an assessment on Boots because I'm waiting for Boots to make his debut at 154 first. But yeah, there's not too many people I'm picking over Bakram. So he said, anybody here pick Tellus to win? I thought Tellus was going to pull it off. I thought it was going to be a close fight. I thought Tellus was going to win by a decision. But yeah, shout out to Abbas Barao, man. He did his thing, man. Shout out to Abbas Barao, for real. Definitely impressive, man. He showed a lot of guts. Showed a lot of guts and a lot of nuts. That was funny, though. Jeff said, he said the boogeyman don't have dietary restrictions. That's hilarious, bro. I think Bud, 154 day cell. Yeah, me too. I don't know, man. I could hope that he comes back down to 154, but I mean, hey, man, he's 38 years old, very accomplished, 41-0, 2-time undefeated while doing it. Ain't nothing else to prove, man. Nothing else to prove, man. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any. Conor Ben ducking the work at 154. He wants to fight the severely weight drained and depleted Eubank Jr. instead of fighting him killers. Yeah, man, Conor Ben never wanted no smoke, man. Conor Ben trying to go back down to 147, man. In my opinion, definition of a boogeyman is a fighter who is dangerous against any fighting style. Yeah, to me, the boogeyman is just somebody that's avoided. You know, I'm not sure. Like, I think sometimes people just, like, a fight may fall through and we don't want to do our due diligence to find out why it didn't materialize. And so we just call somebody a duck. You know what I'm saying? Any fight that falls through in the 2020s when Twitter's around and social media's around, anytime a fight doesn't materialize, it's because somebody ducked. So it's like, I just don't believe in that. I just think a boogeyman is somebody who's actually avoided for real. And I'm trying to think, the last real boogeyman that I could think of, I don't even know, man. Shoot, I'm trying to think the closest thing we have to a boogeyman right now. Shoot, I don't even know. I'd probably say, yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. He said Albert Bell, maybe. I have to see more of him, though. You know, I feel like that might be premature. Canelo's going to retire, but yeah, I think Cinnamon wins. I don't know if he's going to I don't know. Beterbiev was a boogeyman. I agree with that. Beterbiev was a boogeyman. I would say that. Boots. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think Boots. I don't think people are running to fight Boots, but at the same time, I think a lot of the times a major deterrent is cheap behind Eddie, man. I think Eddie's just being cheap, bro. You know, like when all your opponents say the same thing, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? When there's smoke, there's fire sometimes, you know. And people try to focus on Brian Norman, but if you look at it, Brian Norman said that Boots didn't give him enough money, right? Eddie Hearn didn't offer enough money. And Mantis Stanionis said that Eddie Hearn didn't offer him enough money. Mario Barrios and Bob Santos said that they didn't offer him enough money. Then he goes to 154. Josh Kelly said that they didn't offer him enough money. Serhii Boachuk said the offer wasn't good. So, like, and some of them could be lying, yeah, but gosh dang it, everybody ain't lying. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying people are running to fight, but I think Boots is personally one of the best. But to say he's a boogeyman, I don't know if he's actively avoided like that. You know, sometimes it is a bad deal. You feel me? Why did Stanionis fight Boots anyway? Because, you know, it's so funny. People don't talk about this. Well, some people do, but Stanionis ended up actually getting the amount of money to fight Boots that Brian Norman asked for. Right? So when you know these things and you look at it, it gives you a different perspective. It's like, okay, bet. You might think Brian Norman was asking for too much money, but then Stanionis got the same amount of money that what Brian Norman was asking. Why you ain't just give it to Brian Norman? And that's not Boots' fault. Boots is a fighter. Fighters fight, judges judge, promoters promote, officials officiate. Right? It's not Boots' fault. But can I say that Barrio Barrios is scared of him? I don't think that's fair. If you're not getting a fair shake, then I wouldn't fight nobody either. Jennebeck, I disagree with Jennebeck. I think Jennebeck's a front runner. I think Jennebeck is be tweeting. You know, maybe he is though. Maybe Carlos Adames is scared of him. I don't know. but he said he be tweeting. Benavidez, I don't think Benavidez is a boogeyman either. I was gonna say that he's willing to fight anybody, but are people? I don't think Beterbiev is scared to fight him. I don't think Bivol's scared to fight him. I think that people just assume that because they want to see Benavidez versus Beterbiev and they want to see Benavidez versus Bivol, if it doesn't happen now, then they think that somebody's ducking. That goes back to what I said earlier. Every time a fight doesn't materialize, we always get so thirsty and anxious to say that somebody's ducking. No, sometimes fights just don't work out. It's negotiations. If I go to buy a car and the car costs 10,000, I say, I only have 8,000. Am I ducking the car because the person doesn't sell it to me? No, we didn't come to terms, right? We didn't. That's what negotiations for both sides to be happy. We might sacrifice and compromise. We might make a compromise. We might sacrifice a little, but if the deal doesn't work, then we both might walk away. You see what I'm saying? So I think David Benavidez is willing to fight anybody, but I don't think Bivol's scared of him. I don't think Beterbiev is scared of him. Callum Smith might be a little scared of him. I don't know, but Callum Smith might be a little shaky, but I don't think Beterbiev or Anthony Yard's clearly not scared of him. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to say that Canelo ducked him, that's maybe you could argue that or whatever, but then you find out that the WBC never ordered it officially because Canelo never got stripped for not fighting them. And if you were ordered to fight somebody and you don't fight them, usually the protocol is that you get stripped. And so Canelo wasn't stripped. Was he really ordered to fight him? I mean, I don't know. You got to find out yourself. I mean, I made videos about it. So Job Ataya, I don't think Job Ataya is a boogeyman either. I think Zurdo would fight him. I think Chris Billiam-Smith would fight him. Obviously Chris Billiam-Smith and Zurdo fought each other now for when they unified for the WBO and the WBA. But I think Job Ataya is a good fighter as well. But I think that once again, what does he have in common with Boots, Jeff? Eddie Hearn. I think that Eddie Hearn is notorious for just not for being funny with the money. You know what I'm saying? Being a little stingy with the penny. So I think I can't say that Badu Jack wouldn't fight Job Ataya. I can't say Zurdo wouldn't fight. Zurdo's been in the ring with Bivol. Why wouldn't he fight Job Ataya? I don't think Job Ataya is more dangerous than Bivol. So I can't, like, to me, that to say the boogie, like I say, the boogeyman, I feel like it's overused. To say somebody's a boogeyman means that somebody wouldn't fight them. I don't feel that way. Job Ataya definitely a boogeyman. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Good point. Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you, brother. I think like even Shakur, like I was thinking Shakur, but even then was still who he was just with Eddie as well. So it's like when Shakur is like, and plus Floyd Schofield, what he did, that seems like boogeyman stuff where you try to pretend like, if you try to pretend like you sick to not fight somebody, that might be boogeyman stuff. But, then again, it goes back to the deals and stuff like that. Like, was this fight really feasible as we put on? As I don't know, man. So, but I think, to me, when you say boogeyman, that means they're scary. Who am I thinking that these other fighters are scared of? I don't know. I ain't saying they're not, but I'm just saying I just don't know. I don't know. I actually think Shakur Stevenson is a boogeyman. That's funny. I just said Shakur, Grandy. That's funny you said that. He said not because he's brutalized you in the ring, but he never looked good. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I could agree with that. When Apataya fight the #1 contender, I'd be impressed. Talk to him, Oscar. I like Job Ataya, but Job Ataya just fought Claudio Squayo. He was ranked number 14. He was a voluntary defense. You know who didn't fight any voluntaries yet since he's been at cruiserweight? That's Zurdo. Zurdo has had 4 fights at cruiserweight. All of them have been meaningful fights. He fought Arslan Goulamirian and got the WBA belt. You know who sorry. I skipped one. Sorry. His first fight was Joe Smith Jr. Sorry. That was his debut at cruiserweight. That's a good fight. Joe Smith Jr. has fought Bernard Hopkins, famously, right? Knocked him out the ring. He fought Bivol and Beterbiev. So his introduction to cruiserweight was against Joe Smith Jr. Then he fought Arslan Goulamirian for the WBA belt. Then he fought Chris Billiam-Smith for the WBO, WBA unification. Then he fought his WBA mandatory in Uniel Dorticos. What more do we want from Zurdo? How could I say Zurdo's scared to fight somebody? He's fighting all his obligations. He hasn't fought a voluntary defense yet. Job Ataya, he fought Jack Massey. And that almost was not allowed to be for the IBF belt. He had to plead, literally, I'm not making this up. They literally had to make a concession to allow that fight to be for the IBF belt. That Jack Massey was almost not approved by the IBF and President Daryl Peoples. This is a true story. And then when he fought Jack Massey, before he fought Jack Massey, he was ordered to fight his mandatory in January. And that's why he tried to fight Hussein Sakara, who was his mandatory in January. But Hussein Sakara was hurt, and then it was replaced by the top 10 guy, David Nika. So that satisfied his mandatory then. And then he fought Claudio Squayo, another voluntary. Ranked number 14, a guy that never fought outside of Italy before, literally. Claudio Squayo's first time fighting outside of that doesn't mean he's a bad fighter now, but he never fought outside of Italy until he fought Jai Pataya. So we're calling other and Badu Jack, he just fought his Noel McCallan, right? That was a champion versus champion in recess, and then he was ordered to have a rematch, so he has to fight Noel McCallan again. So how could I say that these fighters are avoiding Jai Pataya when they haven't had the opportunity, really, by the procedure of the sanctioning bodies to fight anybody else yet? So we'll see how it goes, man. I just think sometimes we rush. I think Jai Pataya is the best. Well, I think the top two guys are Jai and Zerto. I don't know who's the best between those two, but in my personal opinion, those two are the best. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say Jai Pataya is ducking them either. I'm not saying Jai Pataya is ducking Badu Jack or Zerto either, but I'm definitely not saying Zerto's ducking. Hell no. Triple G ducked that. I agree with that. Jeff. I think Triple G ducked SOG smoke. I agree with that. I like Triple G too, but I do agree. Andy Cruz? Boogeyman? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they are. Any of them are scared, but it's a risk factor. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You think Zerto's risk is bigger than? You think Zerto? Wait, so when you say risk factor, who are you speaking in terms of? Are you talking about Zerto and Jai and Badu and Jai? You still got Boots over Bam on the pound for pound? Man, bro. Boots over Bam on pound for pound. Boots is unified. He was unified, and he was a Ring Magazine undefeated champion. They should be very close. Bam is undefeated, and he's unified. What does he have? The WBC and the WBO when he beat Fumalele Cafu. I don't think there's anything wrong with them being close. I would put Bam over him right now, but I don't think that they're that far apart. They're both on the pound for pound list for me. I don't think Bam, I think people, I like Bam. I think Bam is the best at 115. But Bam still has work to do, just like Boots has work to do. You know, they're both equally accomplished. I don't think Bam is more accomplished than Boots. They were both unified, have 2 belts, and they're both Ring Magazine champions. You just don't like Boots for whatever reason. That's cool, but Bam is a beast. I think Bam is a beast, but some of y'all, I be seeing some people have Bam as like number 2 pound for pound. How could you put him number 2? There's no way that he could be, there's literally no way he could be top 4, right? If you're not undisputed, how could you be above guys that were undisputed? In my personal opinion, there's no way he could be top 5. Because there's no way he's definitely not over Terrence Crawford, definitely not over Naoya Inoue, definitely not over Alexander Usyk. All 3 of those guys, whether you have them 1, 2, or 3, they're all interchangeable, but they all have the distinction of being undefeated and being undisputed in 2 different weight classes. So there's no way Bam could be over those 3. So at best he could be 4. But then at 4, you got to remember, oh, you have Dimitri Bivol, who's undisputed light heavyweight, or he was until he got stripped. So he's not over Bivol, right? And then there's that other guy named Cinnamon, who's the first ever and only undisputed at 168, and he's currently undisputed right now. How can you put him over Cinnamon? So that's 5 people. So there's no way he could be top 5. I'd be seeing Bam Rodriguez number 2, number 3. Like, I like Bam Rodriguez, but let's not get ridiculous. He's unified. But why is it so far fetched to have Boots and Bam in a similar position? I would put Bam over Boots right now. I'd probably put Bam at, I don't know my top 10 pound for pound right now, but I probably have Bam at like number 6 or 7, and I probably have Boots as like 8 or 9. They're not that far away. They have similar accolades. I don't think Bam versus Puma gonna be close, bro. I got Bam smoking buddy. Ooh, I think it's gonna be close. I got Bam beating Puma, but I think it's gonna be good. I think that might be. I think that might be up there for fight of the night too. I think David Benavidez and Yard's gonna be fight of the night. But I think Puma and Bam might be up there too. Triple G wasn't a boogeyman for me. He was ducking also. I think Triple G avoided Ward. I'm not gonna say that he was ducking. No, don't do my boy Triple G. Don't do Gennady Golovkin like that. You ain't gonna do him like that now. I do think that he avoided Ward, but I ain't gonna say he was ducking. Like he just be out there ducking. Now you gotta relax. Don't do Triple G like that. Bam number 11 through 13. I'm not mad at that, Tay. I'm not mad at that. Let me see what these boys talking about in here. Yo, what y'all talking about, man?
A little bit of everything.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up Irony, my guy. Yes, sir, man. Hey, I have a question. Who you got?
Hello?
Shout out to Ned. You know, Ned be stirring the pot. He be Ned. You know, he very biased. Where do y'all have Boots on? Is Boots on your pound for pound? Top 10?
Yeah.
Is Bam on
I
your
haven't
pound for
done
pound?
it in I haven't done it in a minute actually. I gotta
Okay.
think a little.
Okay.
Boots,
Is Bam on your pound for pound top 10?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to okay. Are Bam and Boots far away from each other? Shout out to Iron. He said that Bam's not on his. So is Boots, if they are both in your top 10, are they far away from each other? Are they more than 2 spots away from each other?
No.
Nah, they within 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Yeah.
It don't even matter who you have higher
Seven,
or lower.
7 and 8.
Yeah. It
7
don't,
and 8, 8 and 9.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Because this guy tried to make it seem like I'm crazy because I have Boots and Bam close to each other on the top 10. Like, what are we doing?
I might have Bam. Maybe I spoke too soon, but I don't think so. I gotta think. 10 people, right? So
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
the
there's anything
top
wrong with
3,
not
we all
having
know
them
who
on
the
there. It
top
just
3
depends on
are.
who. It just depends on who you have on there. Yeah, top 3 is already solidified. Is Bud, Inoue, and Usyk. But no matter what
Usyk
order
and
you have
Inoue.
it. Yeah, whatever order you have it. But that's for
They
sure.
both bottom 5 when we talking about the top 10.
Yeah. You got
Hey,
then you got
thank you.
Bivol and
What'd
Canelo.
you say, Ty? Can you repeat that?
They both bottom 5 on the
Thank you.
top 10.
Thank you.
So
Because I said there's literally no way you can have Bam within the top 5. There's no way. Because you have Usyk, Inoue, Bud, and then you gotta have Bivol. And he don't have to be number 4, but he got to be 4 or 5, and then you gotta have Canelo. For me, not saying you can't
Over
have somebody
Bam,
else.
even I'll agree with that. Even I will agree with you on that one.
Everybody I just named were undisputed.
Five.
Three of the 5 people I just named were undisputed twice. Two divisions.
Right.
And then the other two are undisputed themselves, or not Bivol because he just got stripped, but he was undisputed. Bam has never been. So I don't know why you make it sound like that's hating on Bam, bro. Bam's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but relax a little bit. There's no way he could be top 5.
This is a conversation to be had after Bam and Puma, in my opinion.
I agree. It's a better conversation.
He hasn't done enough.
It's a better conversation.
He hasn't done enough. With all the respect,
What the hell is Ned talking about? We just told him he is top 10.
No,
So,
I think he was talking about what Irony said he wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure because I don't know that I put him over Junto.
I was just about to say that. So it depends on who his top 10 is. Like, let me think. Hold on, let me think. I'm trying to think. Okay, so Juntos are debatable. David Benavidez is debatable. Boots is debatable. Yep. So that's so we named the 5 and then we're at 8. Beterbiev is debatable. So we already at 9.
Man.
And then Shakur. So is it crazy to have him outside of those 10? Yeah, Ned, you're just tripping, bro. You're tripping. No. I'm not. I obviously have him in my top 10, but don't make it seem like these other guys aren't doing. What about Oscar Collazo? Oscar Collazo's unified at minimum weight. You may not know him, but come on, bro. That's not crazy to put him over Bam. I wouldn't obviously, but that's not crazy.
And I love Bam. And it might seem like I'm hating on him, but I promise you,
it's not hating.
I love Bam.
It's not. Ain't no way that's hating, bro. There's 1,011,011 boxers, bro. There's 10 spots. We're talking about 10. Come on, bro.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say, I feel like a pound for pound is gonna always be arguable,
right?
Because it's opinion,
right?
It's usually only,
especially once you pass like the top 5, top 7,
right?
Like them, who right outside the list, shit like that.
I might put shout out to my boy Rolly, man. I might put Rolly up. Y'all playing.
I mean, he could get on there. The only thing that really should be debatable is 6
Rolly right outside the list, and then it'll be arguable. You'll be like, hell no, I can name 10 people right now with a better resume than Rolly.
Yeah,
but then somebody else will still be so like, hell no.
I love Rolly. But let's pump the fucking brakes. Yeah,
There'll be people like that.
Shit, put Rolly right next to David.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about? What about Zerto, man? What about Zerto and Jai, man? Zerto and Jai could be on there, man.
They right next to Rolly.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I love Jayo Petaya, bro, but I can't get there. I can't get there. Not right now.
Nah, I'm with you. I'm just stirring the pot now. I'm doing what y'all do to me all the time. Let me say, I think the smaller weight classes are less popular, so people don't really know the top fighters there compared to the heavyweights. I agree with that. That's 100%. But that doesn't mean these small weights ain't putting in work 100%. But I will say this too: is what me and Irony were just talking about earlier too. Is like sometimes the smaller weights they do have their benefits too. Like they are lesser known, so you won't notice. Like sometimes they have ran through the same person like 2 or 3 times. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like with Oscar Collazo, he beat one of his champions now. So it's like. One of his contemporaries, you know, was he the WBA champion?
No, I don't know which one of the 3 letters is he.
Yeah, because yeah, so
they try to start a fight.
I know Collazo has 2 belts. I know Pedro Taduran has an IBF. Melvin Jerusalem has, I think he has a I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but I think Collazo has a WBO and the WBC. Maybe he has WBO and WBA, and then Melvin has WBA. I don't know, but anyway, I know Melvin Jerusalem has 1. Oscar Collazo already beat him. Collazo has 2, and he has a ring belt, and then Pedro Taduran has an IBF belt. And
yeah, you're absolutely right. Jerusalem is the WBC, and Collazo is WBA and WBO.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah. So it's like sometimes because the pool is so shallow, like I'm gonna use Kenshiro Taraji. No disrespect to Kenshiro Taraji. But he had a couple wins that people didn't notice were a little shaky, you know, like against like Canizales and stuff like that. So we don't know, like people might just go and look and be like, oh, he's a unified champion, but they may not realize how close some of those fights are, you know. And so I don't know. I think that's a benefit for them too, because you have more eyes, you notice more of the robberies or the bad decisions or the bad judgments and stuff more. So sometimes I think the smaller weights they kind of get away with that. So it's a plus and minus, but they never get the credit that they deserve a lot of times too, because like you said, they're not as popular. People don't watch. But
I got a question for
Oster
you.
in the building. What's good, Brethren?
Because I was looking at the rankings here in Collazo. The guy that he's fighting, Jason Bison, he's number 7. So is that what it's called, a voluntary defense?
What is he for which one? Do you know? I don't know, because it could have been an eliminator too.
Oh, good question. WBO.
Let me go look. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a voluntary.
Because if it's not number 1, he's the voluntary, right? That's what I think. You guys can set me straight.
Can you say that again?
Because the way that I think that it is that if it ain't the mandatory, number 1 guy,
okay.
Exactly.
A lot of times, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. I would have to go read the WBO again. I haven't read it in a little minute, so I have to go read that. Okay. Sometimes it is, like, for example, like I know with the IBF, it's like what's a freaking voluntary's top 15, so it could be anybody in top 15. But for example, when what's the name? Like, so for example, Bakram, the title, when you fight a title eliminator, you don't have to be number 1 to get a title shot. Sometimes, okay, so for example, Lucas Body just fought a title eliminator. He could get Tank,
yeah,
but he won't be number 1, because I think number 1 is Schofield, right?
Schofield, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. So he wouldn't shoot up to number 1, but he could get a title shot, and it wouldn't be a voluntary at the same time. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it get a little tricky. So sometimes it get a little tricky. That's why I be reading the guys' rule books back and forth sometimes, and they got freaking 4 different rule books. You know, IBF has different rules than WBA, WBC, WBO. So I have to look into that. That's a good question.
Look at this. That's what you're saying. What you were saying about not so deep. Like the second the second to last fight that Collazo had was a Thai fighter that he stopped. And this guy is now the number 1 to Melvin Jerusalem.
Exactly.
That goes to show you
how shallow it is. Yeah. I mean, and look at 118. Right? I talk about like Daigo Higa, right? Daigo Higa, he had 3 title shots consecutively. He fought Yoshiki Takei. He lost for the WBO belt. Then his next fight was against Seiya Susubi for the WBA belt. He had a draw. And then he fought Antonio Vargas for the same WBA belt again. And had another draw.
Mick.
Come on now.
And he's number 2. And he's number
still
2
ranked number
right
2
now, bro.
Mick,
very Mick. Like how you get 3 title shots consecutively.
And you're still up there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Right. That'll never happen in like a welterweight or above, because there's more depth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
You have to look at that. That was a great question though, the Oscar Collazo. I'm not sure. Ty, do you know about would this be considered mandatory? I mean, a voluntary? I have to go look. I have to go read those.
For who?
For Oscar Collazo at minimum weight. He's fighting who's fighting in Jason something.
Jason Bison.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah,
What belt does Collazo have again?
WBO and WBA.
BO and BA.
Yeah.
And when did he win either of them?
Oh shit.
Yeah, that I don't remember.
Because who's he fighting? And you go by where they rank.
Yeah, you were fighting the number 7 ranked guy, I think.
7.
Yeah, in
the WBO.
Yeah. So it could be a
WBO. That's every 9. So if he already had a defense in the last 9 months, and 9 months hasn't already passed, this is probably a voluntary.
That's the threshold, right? The 9 months.
Yeah, 9 months. Yep. Every 9 months, you got to fight that
Oscar
Mando.
Collazo. Let's hear Oscar Collazo captured WBO title by defeating Made in Jerusalem May 27, 2023, and the WBA when he against I can't say that name, the Thai fighter on November 16, 2024. Sorry, I cannot pronounce their name.
No, that's all
impossible.
good. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Yeah.
So it was less than a year ago, but that was the BA. So.
If it isn't a voluntary,
you talking about when he fought Fresh Mart? You talking about Damanon,
right?
Yeah, Damanoon. Yeah, that's one of the Fresh Marts. Yeah,
you're way better than me at that one. Though.
Is that guy double ranked?
The Jason Vason guy that he's fighting?
The guy that he's fighting, no, he in the BA, he's nowhere to be seen.
I'll be right back. We'll go grab a water real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah, this is probably just a voluntary. Only time they'll sit there and grant somebody that's like the 7th ranked guy is when 1 through 6 is already unavailable, or if the guy is ranked for the other belt this guy has as a unified champion. So they'll give him a little grace and count it as a mandatory for both sides. But it seems like it's just a voluntary.
Gotcha. I'm just trying to understand how it works from that standpoint.
Because if he did, he would have to actually petition for this guy to classify as it, like how Opataya did at cruiserweight.
Okay.
Oh man, shout out to y'all, man. I love this boxing talk, man. Good old boxing talk, man. Right? Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to you, brother. Man, you're saying Jack Massey? Is that what you're referring to, Ty?
Yeah, he couldn't get the actual mandatory or anybody within, 1 through blah 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 at that time. So he put in a special petition for this guy to count as his mandatory.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: is it the same with Teofimo and Steve Claggett?
No, because Teo, with his WBO super status, he didn't have a mandatory for 18 months from being granted to that. That's the reason why Arnold Barboza sat for as long as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So when that 18 months was up, they mandated it.
Man, 18 months.
Shawa, you joining? What's up, Shawa? I gotta pull up on Shawa too on her show.
Yeah, I've seen her a couple of times. She's real good.
Oh yeah, man. Got some good dope insight.
What's the next big fight?
I think it's Bud and Cinnamon. I think so.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, I think so, bro. I was disappointed. I was looking at that too because the next fight's in Florida. It's a pro box card, and then another one in the same Caribe Royale by Matchroom with Omari Jones, excuse me, from Orlando. But I was looking at that. That's gosh dang it, November. Oh no, what's the name? I mean, yeah. The next big fight is Canelo and Bud. But what's the name is fighting?
Amari Jones is that kid from the Olympics, right?
Yes,
That's what
sir.
you're referring to?
Yeah,
You're talking about
Yeah,
Omari.
Omari, not Amari.
Oh.
Excuse me. Yeah, Omari.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because Amari Jones is with Golden Boy. Omari Jones is with Matchroom. That's crazy, right?
Oh, okay.
That's people,
it is.
people gonna get confused like crazy. Aussie's Iglesias fights on September 4th on a Thursday. I guess Vladimir Shishkin. I forgot about that
Ooh, I'm not. I love that dude, bro.
fight. Yeah, that is a
Oh
big
man,
fight, too.
I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah.
This Thursday? I mean, you
No,
saying
no,
next
week.
Wednesday or
Next week, next Thursday.
Well, who
Gotcha.
called that song? Like what? Who broadcasting?
Punchandgrace.com.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. Punchandgrace.com. It's in Canada. Oh, what's Eduardo Nunez fights? September 6th.
Yeah, he's fighting.
that's Saturday.
He's fighting Diaz. He's
Yep.
another dude that fought on the card that I covered here.
That's what's up, man.
Man,
Yeah, Christopher Diaz.
yeah.
Yeah.
He too for Diaz. Yeah.
ESPN
I'm pulling
Plus
for my
610.
boy, but I don't know, bro.
Mm.
That's gonna be on the zone, I think. I saw it on the
Yeah. Sugar Nunez. Yep.
Ray Ford wanna fight him. Been calling that dude out, right?
Because he ducking.
Yeah.
Ray Ford.
He said Oshaki's ducking too. I mean, Ray Ford, bro, you gotta love him, to be honest with you.
Oh, your Montes Steniones got a comeback fight next month too.
Next
I
month?
seen that.
Against who?
It's a home and it's a country fight in his hometown.
That's the
Oh,
way.
okay.
I don't remember the dude's name. I think it's like in September 25th or some shit like that.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay.
I'm
Mr.
trying to see how
Granny.
he come back.
Ain't nobody trying to see that. Respectfully, ain't nobody trying to see no Emilio Vargas.
I'm trying to
Right.
see how he come back after getting out the ring with boots.
I'm trying to see
bro.
Stanionis come back, man. That's crazy, bro.
No, I ain't talking about Stanionis. I'm talking about Emilio Vargas versus Ryan Garcia. Respectfully, ain't nobody trying to see that shit.
Emiliano. You're saying Emiliano
Oh, you
Vargas?
talking about
I'm just reading what he said in the chat.
Yeah, Mr. Grandi just.
Oh, I see it. My fault. Okay. My bad. I see it now. Yeah. Iglesias. Tate said Iglesias is gonna be on ESPN Plus. Okay, that's dope.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the boxing schedule. It says punchandgrace.com. So if I can watch it there, I'm gonna watch it there. I ain't got ESPN Plus.
Lacy Gracious is the truth, bro. In my opinion,
I like him too.
He's gonna be something. Yeah.
Emiliano Vargas versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia ass.
Booty butt cheeks.
Booty butt cheeks.
A few goofies are saying that he's gonna be better than David Morrell. Let's pump the fucking brakes here.
Who? Ozzy Iglesias?
Iglesias, yeah. Like I like him, but chill out.
You better ask
they might be
Cuban OG.
right. Yeah.
He might have a better career. That's possible, but I know he can't beat David.
Hell no.
Y'all think he's gonna move up to 175 though, or stay at 168? I think he's gonna stay at 168.
Iglesias?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends because I don't know. The way he's built, I don't see him having trouble making the weight. Do you?
Yeah, I don't think he's been having trouble. Not from what I've seen so far. That's why I think he stays at 168.
He probably move up after getting a title or something. But yeah, they probably try to like let him get him positioned to wait to Canelo lead.
True.
To fight one of those other top guys.
True.
Maybe like a Pacheco or something.
Yeah, something like that. But whole time Pacheco probably. Yeah, I don't think Canelo gonna fight folks.
Nah, me neither. But in the case of Iglesias and Pacheco, might be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Who all got intern belts at 68?
Right.
And Billy. Does he have an interim? And Billy and does Pacheco have an interim?
I think so.
Yeah, I think Pacheco got that WBC joint.
Yeah, we got him Billy, and Billy got the interim for WBC, and
Resendez. Resendez when he beat Plant. That's right. When he beat Plant. Yeah, the WBA. Thurman and Madrimov. I got Madrimov. He said, "Doc, put me. I got you."
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I got Madrimov versus Thurman.
Yeah,
Thurman
me too.
Fedora gonna be
Very
good
saucy.
though, man.
We're gonna be
I got
interesting.
Thurman cooking this up.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I thought Pacheco
Might
had
be.
one too, Tay, but it didn't say it. It didn't say Pacheco had one. I could have sworn Pacheco had an interim belt as well, but
But hang
I
on
guess
a second.
not.
Wasn't Thurman gonna fight? Who was Thurman gonna fight?
Fedora. He's fighting for
Wasn't it?
Fedora, bro. Fedora.
Oh, okay. You got you.
Something
Oh, this
about
is
get
like
put in the dirt.
Yeah, it's PBC card. I don't remember the date on it though. Did they announce a date yet? I don't know. But yeah, I'm
I
about to
don't
go ahead and
think so.
call it, man. I'm gonna pull up Ulster. I'm about to go ahead and call it, fellas. I appreciate y'all rocking,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Shout out to y'all coming through, man. For
All right,
real.
y'all. Show did just start eating.
Yeah, I'm about to go give me some food too. Nah, y'all can rock out though. Yo, this man Tufo be leaving quick as bro. This man Tufo like Batman, bro.
You gonna get pizza and ice cream again?
Nah, no pizza, no ice cream, bro. I'm trying to do a little better, man. I appreciate you, bro. Yo, Tufo funny, man. Tufo be out like gosh dang. You know what? You know, like when you watch the Batman and then like they be talking and then they turn around and Batman gone. That's how Tufo.
Yeah. Hey Doc, you gotta line up me and him in our debate. It's long overdue.
Okay, bet. Who you and Tufo or somebody else?
Me and 2-4.
Bet. I got you, man. October 25th.
Speaking
Thank
about
you,
lining. Speaking about lining people up for debate, I wanna call out Oster.
I like that.
I wanna
Irony
call
and
out
Ulster?
Oster for a
I
debate.
like that.
Yeah.
I like
What do you
that,
say, bro?
man.
Next week?
I'm
Next week,
down.
yes or no? I know Oster. I mean Oster. Oster.
You say me?
You and me debate next week.
Oh, bet we can do that.
Bet.
Awesome. You see, Ty. That's how you do it. You give a straight answer. Just say. Anyway.
All right, fellas, man. Y'all be
I'll
easy,
confirm.
man. Yeah. Drop it in the Discord, man, please. All right, y'all boys.
Love you,
Ulster,
bro.
my brother.
God bless.
Yo,
Yeah, man. God bless.
keep
y'all,
it safe,
man.
Doc.
Yes, sir, man. You too, my boy. Ty, you be easy, brother.
All right, bro.
I was good, Doc.
Chat, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. Hey, we had a great stream today, man. I thank y'all for rocking. We had great conversations, man. I appreciate everybody that contributed. Don't forget to smack that like button and share the stream too, man. It really helps us to keep going and growing. And it's free support. You know what I'm talking about? Doesn't cost anything. But shout out to those that go in them pockets and keep us going and growing. You know what I'm saying? The biggest shout out to the members, man. The members hold me down, man, for real. Just $3. That's all it takes is $3. You can contribute to the young man's dream of the takeover of this boxing news world. You know, we try to do it from a genuine standpoint, an unbiased standpoint, and a fun standpoint. You know what I'm talking about? So could consider contributing to the boy as a member, and shout out to those that already do. And also, in addition to that, man, shout out to my mama, man. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to the queen, Mama Doc. Yes, sir, man. God bless her, man. And yeah, also, I want to say thank you to Oscar for the $5 on the super chat. Thank you for Big Dog Willie with the 5 months renewal of the membership. Shout out to Big Dog Willie with another $2 as well on top of that, man. Talking that junk about Tank versus Jake Paul. Talking about I told you. How you tell me what I told you? You know? Oh, yeah, man. It's unfortunate, man. I'm not looking forward to Tank versus Jake. But at the same time, I understand it from a business standpoint. But I'm a boxing fan first. And I think that fight is trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
But I get it. And it's intriguing. And respect to everybody who's intrigued by it. You know, I'm going to watch it because I love boxing. But, you know, I'd much rather other fights happen. But, hey, like I said, I would do it if it's a way to get a lot of money and you get an easier job doing, you know what I'm saying? You could have the easiest job to get the most money. Who in their right mind wouldn't do it? I'm not knocking anybody for doing it, but objectively speaking, as a boxing fan who wants to see great fights, to me, this is not a great fight. That's all. You know, shout out to y'all though, man. I appreciate y'all rocking as always. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember with God, we could do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Smash that like button. Smash the notification bell as well so you get notified when I drop YouTube videos like this shows right here. And turn me up, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.